Let's look at the funk.
Could you stop playing with that radio of yours? I'm trying to get to sleep. Could you stop playing with that radio of yours? I'm trying to get to sleep. Could you stop? Could you stop? I'm trying to get to. I'm trying to get to.
This is most disturbing. Let's look at the funk.
Could you stop playing with that radio of yours? Could you stop playing with that radio of yours? I'm trying to get to sleep. I'm trying to get to sleep. Playing with that.
This is most disturbing.
Get up, First tip of the evening. How's everyone doing?
Hello, chat. Hello, chat. Hello, everybody. Let's get into the title card. Yes. Hello, everybody, and welcome, one and all. Welcome back to the Op Block. I'm your host, Falgy EXE, coming at you live from Op Block Studios, your one-stop shop for everything commentary, news, and goings-on the internet. And yes, joining me today is the magnanimous, the bubblicious, I don't have a third adjective for them that I could make up. It's Lazy Bedhead. What's going on, Lazy? What's going on?
I don't know. I feel like calling me bubblicious could indicate something else about me.
God damn it. I didn't think about that.
It's okay. It's okay,
God
Fauci.
damn
Fauci, it's fine.
I do this every time where I'm just like, yeah, I got this. I'm going to think about a bunch of different things. And then my brain's like, maybe you could have chosen a different word.
A better word.
A better word, a better thing. And you know, but like, then I'm just like, you know what? Fuck
Fauci,
it.
It's fine. The body is fire. We all know this. We all know
Okay. That was...
I'm kidding. I'm fucking with you.
That was truly... No, you're great. But yes, everybody, I have Lazy Bedhead joining me for the beginning of the show because I do think it's going to be a fun program for you guys. We have two topics going on. I understand where the rest of the audience is because they want Leadhead content. They want the lead tent. Lazy, how are you feeling about Leadhead now that you're watching Beckett's kind of interesting crash out on her political stances.
Dude, here's the thing, man. I'm a little upset that people keep getting our names confused. This is upsetting. I am not associated. I don't know who this person is.
I did that to you by accident.
Similar name.
I did it to you by accident one stream.
This is all Fauci's fault.
I know.
This
I
is
know.
all his fault. No, I think it's interesting because a lot of the things about Leadhead after I went on my own little mini deep dive, not too down the hole because obviously I have other things to worry about.
Yeah.
But like, I can see in a different reality me actually enjoying their content, but then they made a cult, formulated around them being a cheater. So I'm like, damn.
So we've done Leadhead content. I introduced a lot of people. I introduced a lot of different people to Leadhead. Beckett was the one that first did it, and then I think Chud actually did it. Then I went through it, and then everything like that. Lord Rush with the 2. Thank you, buddy.
OMG, my 2 favorite streamers in the same place.
Thank you. Yes, your 2 favorite streamers.
I should show you the art that he made me, actually.
Oh, sick, yeah.
It's pretty baller, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I have one of his art pieces because we're gonna actually get to the top of the show because I shared you something that I'm gonna share with the class.
Yay.
But yeah, Beckett introduced me to Leadhead, and then I did the stream, and then I really did a really insane level deep dive on every one of the videos. And I lost my mind. Yeah, Leadhead did cheat on their partner. Them fucking their roommate led them into homelessness, even though they'd like to blame the fact that they were trans. It really wasn't the case. Which is fucking obnoxious.
A coworker sent an email showing how to ask for donations for something my job is doing. I'm donating to you. Am I doing this right?
Yes, cool anime girls.
Smirking face emoji.
You are doing it right, but you're also doing it wrong because I don't have your entire paycheck. If you want to give me your entire...
Fauci might be running a more extensive cult than Leadhead if they're asking for this much money.
Oh, yes, I did see this. I'm super excited for this. I saw that. That's awesome.
It's good.
It's so good. But yeah, no, it's really interesting. It's really funny. I'm very curious about how you would feel about Leadhead, knowing a little bit more about her, knowing about her pots, knowing about her, the polycule, the puppy her puppy play, the fact that she does that in her real life.
It was, what was it? It was the FCK stream. You guys were teaching me all the crazy things about her, and it felt like a gut punch with every new thing. I was dying. I was like, what? And the thing is, I couldn't understand at the beginning of the stream.
Yeah.
Well, actually, not the beginning. Because I popped
soft
in.
serve ice cream emoji.
Oh my
soft
God,
serve ice cream emoji.
No.
Soft serve ice cream emoji. Soft serve ice cream emoji.
Thank you.
Ice cream does sound nice. But anyways, I think I hopped in sometime when he opened up the Leadhead video. Yeah. And I couldn't understand what his issues were with a lot of their issue, because I don't necessarily politically disagree, but the problem is, from what I've understood of Beckett's, it's for show. It's for the aesthetic. It's not because they actually believe it. And I'm like, oh, they're a grifter. I get it. I understand.
I think Beckett reached to the point later on, and I would actually, this is my thing. I think Leadhead does believe it. I think Leadhead just thinks they're the smartest person in the room. And that's the problem. Leadhead, okay, so Leadhead, and ironically, in my personal, oh my God, yes.
You're getting so many donuts.
Like the Kendra Italian man.
I know.
Like blue heart emoji.
I actually want to talk about that because Cloudy's currently working. It doesn't even know about that. If
Don't talk smack about puppy
Potato,
girls.
thank you.
Half the mods are in one.
Potato, no! Stop saying that!
One day, Fauci will ban me from chat and from donating.
No, girls, I'll never ban you. You're
Soft
day
serve
one.
ice cream emoji.
I could
watermelon emoji. Soft serve ice cream emoji.
Watermelon emoji. Soft serve ice cream emoji. Watermelon emoji. I could never ban cool anime girls. They're like a day one for real, so I would never actually. It's like unironically the most impossible thing I could ever do.
Cool anime girls W.
But it's so interesting. She thinks that she's the smartest person in the room. The way that I actually would equate it more is Grimes walking down the street with the Communist Manifesto.
Look, my thing is I don't care what your politics are. If you start a cult after cheating on your partner, and convince them to start polyamory because you cheated, I'm gonna be like, you're an asshole. I don't fucking care if we politically agree.
You have no idea. You have no idea how they convinced their partner that polyamory would solve the entire problem of their relationship because they couldn't control their insatiable libido. Not my words, by the way. It's in the fucking video.
I need to make a t-shirt. What did you say?
My insatiable libido?
My insatiable libido is a crazy thing to say.
Yeah, they were fucking insane. Like, I've never heard somebody say that they need to fuck constantly.
I must have the sex.
You're so crazy.
Every damn day. I could never imagine gooning that much. I can't.
I mean, just a robot can think about gooning that much, but that's not the problem.
He can join the polycule.
Oh my god,
he can join the polycule.
I don't know if Jar could join the polycule. He's such an interesting specimen of a human being.
Nah, you know what? He's too anti-woke for someone like Leadhead. They would never.
Yeah. Yeah, for those who are asking who Grimes is Elon Musk's one of Elon Musk's ex-wives, specifically his latest. Grimes is a Canadian artist. I don't think any of their music is good at all. I don't care for the trance shit. I am exhausted of trance shit. I just don't like their music personally.
What are you saying? What is trance shit?
Their music is, in my opinion, terrible. It's just a lot of. It's just Zoomer coded, in my opinion.
You know what, Falgi? I'm gonna listen to it right now, and I'm gonna become a huge fan of Grimes because I'm very contrarian to everybody.
Yeah, I know.
Jar lives up in a hut on Gooner Gulch.
Thank you, Luna Moon Tea with the 2 Canadian. Thank you. I love you.
Gulch is crazy.
Gooner Gulch is wild. Gooner Gulch is
awesome.
one of the funniest fucking things I've ever heard.
That is incredible.
There was. Oh yes. So for those who don't know, there is a little bit of an update to the crazy TikTok lady, my best friend and yours, Kendra. We will be.
I love her.
We will be doing a small update on her religious beliefs, but.
Oh.
Yes, no. She got religious beliefs, and it's like AI related. They're AI related.
Stream Samis.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, her religion is based on AI.
I love you so much. Oh, wait. You know what, Falgi, speaking of AI, did you hear about the dude who decided to kill his mom because his AI friend Bobby...
What? Okay.
That he was a fucking KBG agent or some shit.
So I've talked about this privately. I don't mind talking about it publicly. I've really oh my god, Lunar Moon Tea with the 5 Canadian.
BTW Falgi, this is real. We have a place in Newfoundland called Cookholds Cove.
Cookholds, thank you.
I want to go to Newfoundland. I don't know where that is.
Newfoundland is its own like city state in Canada, from what I remember.
Oh.
It's its own area. What was I gonna say? I actually do know about it because I have now included it in my eventual AI thing video that I want to actually edit for like 15 minutes.
Dude, I feel like we've gotten to a point where we need to make like what I was doing at the beginning of this year, which is like something that centers around a central topic, but it's like 4 different chapters that all revolve around the same thing.
Yeah.
I would need to do that, but like for AI cases where AI has gone too far. Oh, like something like that.
I my argument outside of all of that stuff is how AI, not argument, but the thesis of the way that I would want to do it. Again, be like a small like a small commentary video, like 15 minutes, would
AI
be how AI solving the loneliness problem is gender fluid, because it crosses the gender boundary. Like,
what are you fucking talking about? What are you talking about?
No. Have you seen the AI boyfriend subreddit?
No. What?
Lazy.
We're not gonna get off topic for too long.
My love.
You have this title that's something else. I want everyone to know
Cloudy, you can ask Cloudy all about the AI boyfriend subreddit. It is the most insane thing I will ever heard of.
Okay. I was gonna ask why she would need an AI boyfriend when she has you, but then you said she's on the subreddit, and I'm like, oh, okay, never mind.
No. It's one of the funny. It's crazy, but no. Kendra apparently has now focused on. No, it's not solving anything, Pimenta. I know that's the joke. Apparently, Kendra has moved on to her landlords, and is now saying her landlords are into her, and she doxed them.
What?
Inadvertently, most likely doxing where she lives.
Bro, she really went the KP route and said that everybody that I'm friends with actually secretly has a crush on me.
Because she's crazy! Because she's fucking crazy!
Everyone's like, no, you know what it is? She's like, nobody believed me about the therapist thing. I'm gonna move on to the next target, which is my landlords.
And I think she was just talking positively about them.
Oh
and I don't know.
How does this get more insane? Why does this keep happening?
Because she's crazy!
No, you know what it is? It's an ARG, Falgi. We all think she's crazy, but she's actually planning a 4D chess move where all of her videos are actually going to tell us a secret code to a secret website to her ARG.
I swear that might be the most insane thing you have ever said to me right now. I've watched so much of Kendra, and I cannot sit here and say that that's an ARG. That is what we call a schizophrenic break.
Listen, man. What is less problematic? Making fun of a woman's bad ARG or making fun of a woman who's going through AI psychosis? What makes us more problematic? Which one do you want to take up?
You know what? Neither. We're going to talk about that when we get to the Lolcow thing.
Yay! Ethics!
Yes, but like I think it's like really, really interesting that's coming out. That again, Leadhead 10 is interesting. I'm going to disappoint some of you. I'm probably not going to cover the Leadhead video. I know you guys love, and the Tyler Creator video was really in my wheelhouse. That was very much my wheelhouse as a musician and stuff like that. But I'm not going to lie, I don't have the political knowledge to cover that. I legitimately don't. I don't have the historical knowledge to cover it. And like Beckett is much better at it than me. And I think that you should go watch Beckett cover it.
Kendra will wear her landlord's skin by week's end.
Yeah, no shit, Potato. No fucking shit, buddy. But like, yeah, I know it's probably disappointing to say. If there's specific moments where she lets us stuff in, because I know the found family's falling apart, we'll get there. It's just boring to me personally. I don't have the time to go through like decades of political theory in a fucking weekend. Oh God, we've hit the goal, guys, but Lord Rest the 499
has proven to me that people would watch the hypothetical show I came up with, Survivor, but every contestant is a paranoid schizophrenic.
I would watch that unironically. I would.
Isn't that just Fish Tank? Unironically?
No, that is so true, though.
Isn't that unironically Fish Tank, though?
Well, I would argue that Fish Tank is Big Brother.
Yes,
but
fair. Obviously.
Right, but with like a smaller budget, right?
Yes.
And like in a crack house instead of like in a giant mansion or whatever the fuck takes place in Big Brother.
But yes, Chad, you have won a goal. That means we feed that dog. Wow, we're already at the goal. We're gonna keep hitting them all day, Chad. But yes, everybody. It's time to feed the puppers. It's time to give her treats. It's time to feed the dog now. On the Uplock stream tonight. Yes, everybody, it's time to feed that dog. Go get it, girl. Look at you go.
It really is a trigger. It really is. She hears the song and she knows.
Oh, she's immediate. You have no idea.
Amazing.
It's getting worse. This dog does anything for treats. She is a show dog. It's now unironically she is a show dog. It's kind of funny now.
Okay, but she isn't being abused like real show dogs.
No, and that's what I appreciate. No, this fucking this has got to be a short stream, kinda.
These stories have sadly been fueling my motivation to work on my sci-fi/horror story about a sentient computer buddy.
I mean, Lost in Worlds, if you do it, I'd love to see it. Unironically, I gotta try to finish the stream early because I have to take her to a boarder tomorrow. I have to board her next week. So I have to introduce her to the boarding program. So she has to stay there for like 3 hours. Great.
Are you traveling?
I have a wedding, and it's like an all-weekend wedding in the city. So I have to, and ironically, I have to be in New York City for 3 days. So it is what it is. No, Leia's not getting deported. Not the border. A border. It's two different things, you motherfuckers. You fucks. All right,
you know what? He's taking her to the apartments, guys. He's taking her to the apartments. She's gonna stay in a nice little doggy hotel. They're going to give her treats.
Chat. Let's talk about a couple different things. We went to the doobly-doo screen, but let's talk about a couple different things. So, number one, here's Lord Rush's art for this, and there's a reason why this art matters. I said something to Lazy earlier that I think is going to be very important. Chat, a little bit of public announcements. The U.S. government has announced that Trump was an FBI informant to take down Epstein.
Please go fuck yourself.
I can't.
Please go fuck yourself.
This is the greatest tweet of all time.
If anyone falls for this, I'm going to start saying slurs. I'm going to return. I'm going to like just do a complete 180.
This is. It's one of the. This is literally onion coded, unironically.
I'm surprised this isn't from the Onion. I'm so upset with America and my life.
Lazy. Fauci and Cloudy are getting married.
Oh no.
And putting Leon on the farm. Pensive face emoji.
Leia would never go to the farm. Don't do that. Don't do that. But no, like unironically is one of the funniest things. Oh, hey, Greg.
Greg.
So it just means that he was on Little St. James Island because the government put
100%
him
means
there.
he's on the fucking list.
He's the James Bond of diddling kids.
Guys, you don't understand. He was dancing with those 14-year-olds, and secretly the whole time he had a wire. He had a wire.
Why did you say he's the James Bond of diddling kids?
The op block is an FBI informant.
Yes, yet I am. Thank you. It's just like this is so funny.
We're that stupid? Like, honestly, do they think that we're this stupid?
Oh. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like off the heels of that stream. By the way, that stream is fully demonetized. Not fully demonetized, as limited ads, which is like crazy to me. But it's like, because somebody made a really good argument. If Trump was an FBI asset, his name shouldn't have been redacted. Because
for sure, and not only
this should have come out. I think you said that to me, where it's like
I said that, but here's my other argument. If he's like a FBI informant who secretly was trying to take down Epstein the whole time, why is he saying that the whole thing is a hoax? Like he was there doing things for the FBI to catch the guy. Why did he be like, I don't know. I think the whole thing's made up. Like
that's what I'm saying.
What are you talking about? What the fuck?
That's what everyone is saying. It's like if you're saying you're an FBI informant, why?
Just say that. Like what the fuck?
It's like I've never seen something so crazy in my life. This may be one of the most historic like moments in like American politics in a long time.
Jeff J. Davis. The trumpets are the generators. Dragon emoji.
Thank you, Zeta Ridge.
I mean, to be fair, like every other excuse they've given us has been garbage. This is at least creative. This is at least makes him look like a hero, I suppose, if that's what he wants to be known and remembered as.
Yeah,
like,
that's the interesting thing. Like, it makes him a hero.
I guess. Good for them, I guess. But I ain't falling for this shit. Are you kidding me?
I know.
I love this. I love this so much.
Greg, what do you think about Trump being an FBI asset, not even a CIA asset?
If I say my thoughts, the FBI is gonna take me out.
Oh.
I'm already on some sort of list. I'm on JFK's watch list right now for autism.
RFK.
Yeah, I know.
What?
Apparently, yeah, people are talking about RFK. Did you see what happened in Keemstar's Lolcow universe recently? A defender was on their stream, calls it was the most insane situation I've seen so far. No, I don't really outside of Xylee, I don't really look at the Lolcow universe that much. it's just a lot. It's just like 24-hour content, and I physically can't watch it while also preparing for my streams. I've openly said this, like, if I don't know if I've said it on stream, but if Keem came a knockin' and like wanted to do like therapy on Lolcow, I'd fucking just do it for like, I'd do it. It'd be funny. I'm not a licensed therapist at all, and that's the joke. Like if Lolcow Live unironically needs like a joke therapist, I'll fucking do it. I got no issues. I think that'd be hilarious. But like I don't even know. But this is crazy. This is
speaking of Lolcows.
I was about to say, speaking of Lolcows, chat. Yeah. All right, chat. So let's talk about Lolcows for a second. I have our friend Lazy Bedhead here, our Lolcow aficionado, our bizarre adventure guide to Lolcowdom for a very specific reason.
Because I'm special. Because he loves me. Because I deserve it. Because
I do love you. You know that.
Release the FCK file.
Zeta
fire
Ridge.
Emoji. Fire emoji.
Zeta Ridge.
Fire emoji.
Thank you. Fire emoji. Fire emoji. Fire emoji. Fire emoji. Fire emoji.
Fire emoji.
Thank you. But yeah,
I'm gonna dip. I might come back later.
Okay, Greg. Bye, Greg. Bye, Big Greg. Now, Big Greg leaves, and I adjusted it so everything was like perfectly like Big Greg. God damn it, Big Greg.
But if he is Big Greg, who is Little Greg is the question.
You've never seen his Little Greg ain't that little. He's gonna kill me when he comes back.
You know what, Falchi? I think Beckett was right. I think you are gonna start a sex cult. I think it's gonna be you.
I unironically have openly. I have said that the 10K OnlyFans is real. And I actually don't even like. If we hit 10K, I would actually just do the OnlyFans. I wouldn't give a fuck. Because I have no shame.
It would just be pictures of your dog. Like
yeah, maybe. Yeah, that would have been the joke. That would have been the joke. But no, chat. The reason I have our friend Lazy Bedhead here, because this video had hit my timeline. I saw Chud Logic cover it. It's called Lolcows. What happens when we abandon vulnerable people? And I think having our Lolcow aficionado here, our guide to Lolcowdom, this is an interesting question because you and I have discussed off stream and on stream kind of the ethicality over Lolcows, kind of like what a Lolcow may or may not be. Blue Yokai with the 5.
If you keep talking about the Chiro dusted FBI informant and RFI kill bear cubs with Mike RK Jr., I will call in and crash out.
I love you too, Blue. Blue, I do. But like you and I have talked about kind of like what makes you a Lolcow. When we were reviewing your video on the White Bowser and you popped in, you even added stuff to your Lolcow list, especially how they interact with people, how they interact with their detractors.
Well, also, it's interesting to have these conversations because I think that when you make it in more like an analytical formula, it kind of makes you less seem like just an asshole that laughs at people and more of like trying to like understand and like sense patterns. I'm somebody who's like very hyper aware when I see patterns and I just like talking about it. Like I'm just like, oh, that's a pattern. And once I see it, I don't ever unsee it. It makes more sense in my brain to sort it that way.
Well, I think it's interesting because like whenever we cover Lolcows, like on this channel, I do try to be as empathetic as humanly possible. It often bites me in my ass because everyone's like, you're being empathetic and this guy's going to be a pedophile. And I'm like, fuck me.
This happens so often. It's so funny.
And I'm just like, fuck. It's like, perfect example is like Cyrax and the house burning and it's like, I guess his mother dying in the fire. And I'm just like, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, I feel so bad for Cyrax. I feel incredibly bad for Cyrax. And then
trust me. I mean,
and then he's an abusive pedophile.
Well, yeah, you could really apply what this person's title of video. You could apply that to any of these people, like especially Cyrax for sure. Like a lot of these guys have a really sad backstory. A lot of them do. So I mean, I'm not saying that I automatically disagree with whatever this person's gonna say or like the assertion of what the video is gonna talk about. I'm sure it's gonna be a very interesting conversation because I do agree that in some aspects, at least before the more recent stuff, like with people like Nick Nobody and God, what was his name? I like his Lolcow stuff, but I can't remember what his name was. Wonder. Hi, my name is Wonder. They make
yeah.
They make really good Lolcow content that I think is at least. I mean, I think Nick Nolte takes the piss a little bit, but like I think that they are pretty empathetic and like do give more of a humanization. And I think a lot of documentary style content that we get nowadays is definitely more humanizing.
Yeah.
And it does give you a lot more of an understanding of why people turn out the way they do online. But before any of that, oh yeah, Lolcow content was probably really problematic. Let's be fucking for real. Like, I mean, Kiwi Farms is a great example. Like, they just do not give a fuck. It is an unfiltered hellscape. Like,
yeah, but the farms has rules though, and I think that's the other thing too. Because in full disclosure, I've pre-watched part of this video. There are parts of the video I don't agree with because of some of the examples this person uses.
Sure.
And we'll get there to like why it's like weird. But the farms does have rules about poo touching and things like that. They don't love it. Now, does everyone follow it? No, but they do have rules, as well as the fact I think that we've reached an interesting era of lolcowdom as well because of Instagram and TikTok. Instagram Lives and Instagram Live and TikTok has really changed how people interact with lolcows. I mean, we can consider, my psychiatrist abused me, Kendra, as a lolcow in some respects, and the way that the Instagram Live and the TikTok Lives and how she's interacting with it and the audience interaction that she's getting could propel her into lolcowdom if she continues down this road.
Let me see. Does she fit the mentality? Let me see. Does she fit all the criteria?
Well, she doesn't yet.
Attention-seeking behaviors.
Yes.
Controversial opinions.
Kinda. Yeah, because the AI.
I guess.
The
AI
and the weird religious, yeah.
I would definitely say making a 28-part series about wanting to be fucked by her therapist is attention-seeking behavior.
Yeah, 100%.
I would say that also fits in under oversharing personal information as well.
Yes.
Eccentric or unusual behavior? Fuck yeah.
100%.
And then lack of any self-awareness. I mean, she thinks that everyone's trying to hit on her, and no matter how many times people tell her that she is having a psychotic episode, she's like, no!
And how she's interacting with her detractors, because like sometimes it's positive, sometimes it's negative. Then she'll turn off her comments, and then she stopped it because she was like, "Well, nobody's hearing me right now, so I'll retell my story when I hear it." Good night, Moon Bunnies. And that's what I'm saying. Is like there's a real new world for lolcowdom, and I think it's like we're kind of reaching the point where. A lot of people talk about lolcow farms. A lot of people talk about kiwi farms. Not a lot of people have recently talked about lolcow.farm, which is obviously the more T version.
Oh yeah, well, that's also because nobody cares. Like nobody cares.
True, but that's what this TikTok interaction and Instagram interaction, I would argue, is becoming more of the T side of it.
I suppose so, but I think lolcow.farm is also very much anti-PC in its language. Like, TikTok is very much, I would argue, has been a very leftist central place where a lot of people are very policy of, like, what they say and, like, you know, very SJW, very, you know, PC, woke, I guess you could call it. Of course, it's a lot more of a mixed bag if you actually go down the right algorithms, because there is both sides of it on there. I just happen to be on the one that's a little too woke for most people's liking, a little too soy. But yeah, I feel like a lot of people who are like, especially TikTok and Instagram people that decided to cover the lolcow space are definitely a lot more, like, they wouldn't use the same language that they would on Kiwi Farms. Like, if you look at how Kiwi Farms go on Kiwi Farms, how they talk about it, it's slurs galore. They literally don't see these people as people. You go on TikTok, they are just like, well, what does this say about us as a society? Like, I just want to be in the middle ground where I'm like, it's okay to laugh at things sometimes, because how else are you supposed to cope? I don't know how else to cope other than laughing. I don't know, probably really bad coping mechanisms, for real. But I think both of these conversations, I think both of these conversations can coexist without policing each other, and you know.
Chad, I know Lazy's going to the Shadow Realm. I literally don't know what it is anymore.
Guys, I saw a comment for the first time
No, it's
today.
not you. It's how Discord reacts with. It's how Discord interacts with OBS, and I've tried to fix it like 1,000 times. I have.
Are you using OBS itself or Streamlabs OBS?
I'm using Streamlabs OBS.
Oh, really? I've never had this problem when I've done it.
It's a weird.
Have you upgraded it? Because there's an upgrade.
I update it all the time. I think it's just like evil. I think for me, it's just evil, and I don't know what it is anymore.
Roboting to the extreme.
Cool Chad, I know.
Face emoji.
Chad, I know it's roboting. Did you uninstall and reinstall OBS? That's never been the issue. Chat, I promise you, I fixed it before the last time. I did the edits that I was told to do.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had this issue.
Yeah, because it is only through OBS.
Interesting.
Because it doesn't do it anywhere else. It only does it within OBS settings. It's how it is. You put in the rice. Thank you, Tyrone. It is unfortunately it is an OBS. It's a Discord to OBS issue. I have fixed the audio encoder 1,000 times. I literally.
Hello.
It's not you. Oh, your partner.
I'm petting my cat.
Oh, it's the cats. But yes,
it's
chat. More importantly, I think it's time. I think it's time for us to really dive in, and I do mean dive right in to this video and learning about Lolcows. What happens when we abandon vulnerable people?
A lolcow, combining LOL or laugh out loud with cow, is internet slang for someone who can be milked for laughs at their own expense. In practice, it refers to an individual made into an online laughingstock, often without fully realizing it. These are people who attract audiences because onlookers find their behavior unintentionally funny or cringeworthy, not out of genuine fandom. Crucially, the lolcow usually isn't in on the joke. They may even think the attention means they're admired, confusing mockery for genuine support. Unfortunately, there's a disturbing trend behind this phenomenon. A significant number of these lolcow figures are vulnerable individuals, people with intellectual and/or developmental disabilities or other mental illnesses. Over and over, the internet discovers an eccentric.
Okay, going to the rat is an interesting choice. I get it. Oh, buddy.
Trick or troubled personality, and a pile-on ensues. Trolls and so-called fans will encourage the person to engage in outrageous, self-destructive antics, all for entertainment. In a lot of cases, onlookers even egg them into harm's way, prompting them to self-harm, indulge addictions, or wreak havoc in public. Simply.
Okay, so did you hear the problem with that?
With wreaking havoc in public?
No, indulging in self-harm, wreaking havoc, things like that.
Well, do they kind of equate that more towards like the audience itself encouraging them to do that? Is that
it's the culture as a whole.
Oh, okay.
It's the people who cover it. It's the people who interact with it. It's the people who A-log it.
I think there needs to be a distinction between people who A-log versus people who are poo touchers, because what they're talking about specifically is the people who actively like talk to these people and encourage. And not, to be fair, there's like a level, right? There's kind of like a spectrum of poo touching, right? There's like the people who want to interview them because they're genuinely like fascinated in this character on the internet. Then there's the ones that do push them into doing horrible things, like Chris Chan, for example, because that was one of the examples they provide, has been pushed into doing some really horrendous shit by trolls.
Yeah,
like the entire what was that?
Isabella Jankees, like it's.
Well, I was thinking Isabella, but also the Idea guys who made all of his Sonichu characters Nazis.
Yes, the Idea guy stuff too. Yeah. Well,
like there has been like that type of like poo touching that does encourage them to do terrible things, and in that case scenario you do have to go, hey, this was too far, and blame the people that is pushing them to do shit for the sake of their entertainment. Because a lot of these poo touch, I think the spectrum is interviewers / journalists like on one end, and on the other end is people who view Lolcows as a freak show, right, for their personal entertainment. Yeah. Like it's the PT Barnums versus people who are just like, I wonder what this guy's like. Let's get him in an interview.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think that there's something too is like, I know World of T-shirts is going to be used, right? Like Look at World of T-shirts is kind of like a really Edgar Allan Poe. Thank you so much.
Oh,
I
look, my
love you.
favorite collab. Red heart
thank you.
emoji.
Like Edgar Allan not Edgar Allan Poe. Holy shit. World of T-shirts. World of T-shirts is a really interesting case study because no one liked either of his handlers. No one.
No.
And
I think most people don't really hate World of T-shirts.
No.
That's the thing. It's just that he has, because of his mental disabilities, he has a very poor reaction, and he has, I don't want to call it, you know, the autistic rage. I don't like that term. I think it's stupid. But he does have a very explosive reaction to things that upset him. And that can, to a lot of people, does make him potentially dangerous. But when you see, if you don't push him to that point of being legitimately angry, he's not like a terrible person. He's just kind of off.
Well,
like
the alcoholism doesn't help him either. To be fair,
that too.
the alcoholism does not help him either, and it is, in my opinion, I don't know. And granted, I haven't watched a lot of World of T-shirts. I don't think it's purely his audience that encourages the alcoholism.
No, he started that like as soon as he turned 21.
Yes.
Like that's, and to be fair, like, and I can speak from this sort of from personal experience. My brother's autistic, and sometimes from how he's explained it to me, because he used to be an alcoholic and now he's like a year sober. How it was like, well, when you hit 21, they work very much on scheduling. Right? Like, my brother is somebody who's been diagnosed with, like, autism, also ADHD, but also scheduling disorder, where it's like, if something is off schedule, it'll throw him off. And for him, his life is viewed as a schedule. So when you hit 21, it's like, oh, that's the time I can drink. That's the time when I'm considered a social adult. Right?
Yeah.
And so for him, it was like, well, I hit 21. That's just what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
Because everyone else does it once they hit 21. So that's just something I'm going to be doing now because I'm 21 and I can. And for the World of T-shirts, because of his autism as well, he could have viewed it as just like, well, I'm 21, this is just what people do, especially in New York, where there's like bars on every fucking corner. It's like, how could you not, right? It's like, you gotta try it once.
Yeah, and I think that, and a lot of people are saying that too, is like a lot of people are identifying who have autism that like alcohol can make them feel normal or any other anxiety condition, and I think it is like Pimenta says, there is an environment that is enabling, whether or not we'd like to admit it or not. But like, is the unethicality where does the unethicality start and stop? I think I'm curious your thoughts on this video. So let's continue.
Because an audience finds someone else's pain, misery, and struggle entertaining. Misleading praise and relentless dares create a vicious cycle for these individuals. The Lolcow chases approval they think is real, while the audience pushes them further over the edge for laughs. So why do people participate in this? The appeal is morbidly simple. Misery loves company. Troll communities feed off the negative drama and thrive off the struggles of others, finding a perverse sense of satisfaction in watching someone's life derail. It's addictive content, a real-life train wreck you can't look away from. And platforms like TikTok, YouTube, and dedicated forums make it easy to gawk at. But unlike typical stars that go viral who might actually be uplifted by fans, Lolcow audiences do the exact opposite. They actively pressure the person into more impulsive or erratic.
Okay, so Daniel Larson is an interesting person to do that, because I don't think anyone pressured Dan to send his dick to a minor.
Not really. I mean, there were people that engaged with Daniel Larson, but there's a big difference by how people engage with Daniel Larson versus how a lot of other people engage with Lolcows, right? Like, if you were to compare Daniel Larson to, say, someone like Christian was actively pushed into doing things because Christian has an inability to think on his own. Daniel is very... Not that I would say he's a super independent person, but I would say, you know, living on your own, living out as a homeless person, it does give you kind of a sense of being independent. Because, I mean, he doesn't have any handlers to tell him otherwise. Daniel, all of his thought processes, like what he thinks about children, what he thinks about like his political views, whatever they may be, when that panel happened where he was asked his political affiliations because he was like running for president, quote unquote. That's all him. He's not being pushed into doing that. And also the Pinterest account was not something facilitated and like concocted by trolls. That's all him. Sure, there are people that will like run up to him maybe, but like if you watch a lot of Daniel Larson content, you'll realize that when he gets really riled up and angry and he like, you know, starts yelling or threatening to hurt people, like punch people.
Yeah.
Those people aren't like saying you should hit me, Daniel. They just go up to him and be like, "Hey, you're homeless. Stop loitering over here." And then he'll explode on them. Half of the Daniel Larson videos of him like exploding, blowing up, getting all riled up and angry was not because people were like antagonizing him. It's because he thinks he's being antagonized because he's a celebrity who gets harassed by the fan base that he thinks exists when it doesn't. Like, a lot of Daniel Larson and a lot of his breakouts in all of this is not because people push him. The only thing they maybe push is this idea that he's actually famous, which then prompts him to react in the most insane way possible. And sure, you could make that argument, but I would argue all of the other things that he's known for, you know, liking kids, being obsessed with Grace Vanderwaal. I guess the Grace Vanderwaal thing is something where people would more push the idea that that is an erratic thing that people push to. Like, kind of like supporting the delusion.
Yeah,
but most of his reactions are him. It's all his own decisions by the end of the day. Sure, you have people feeding into his delusion, but like I think there's a big difference between pushing someone towards Nazism in their fan comic versus saying, "Yeah, you date Grace Vanderwaal," and they pull a fire alarm in an Olive Garden. I think there's a big difference there.
Yeah, I think there's something really interesting with this because yes, Daniel is incredibly sick. Daniel is like unironically incredibly sick. He's incredibly mentally handicapped, disabled, however you want to term it. At this point, homeless, like homelessness, like yada yada. Like there's a lot of things wrong with Daniel, but like the things that led Daniel to do, or like the impetus that Daniel does on his own is outside of other things. Like hate-doms are real, but I think what offset of this video. And a small spoiler because I wish that they put this at the front of the video and instead of the end of the video. This video creator claims to work in social work in some capacity with individuals who he would identify, like he sees the Lolcows that he's covering as people he would work with. So like I completely get the bias from there, but I do think that there's like not everyone is a hate-dom. For a period of time, Chris, like I mean, Null was supporting Chris. Like,
oh, for sure, yeah.
And that's a thing too. Like Null took responsibility of Chris in a certain regard because, like, yes, you know, making a bunch of money, yeah, you know, yes and no. But at a certain point, like, people were more protective of Chris because the power of the forums did fuck Chris over.
Oh, for sure, yeah. And I would say that like a lot of the things in like Chris Chan that could compare to Daniel Larson is that they do kind of fuel into the idea of Chris's multiplex world or whatever the fuck, where apparently
the dimensional merge,
the dimensional merge, yeah. And some people do give into the dimensional merge saying it is real. Like that's the only thing that's kind of comparable between the two is that their following or whatever feeds into their delusions, but the reactions that Daniel has to having his delusions fed into is not something pushed by the trolls. It's just how he naturally has reacted, you know? And you could say that like he wouldn't have that reaction if they didn't feed into the delusion, but the other thing is a lot of Lolcows, a lot of these people don't. It's only like that small fraction. I would say those people are going too far, but for the most part, most of his hate-dom thinks that he's crazy for ever believing in any of this. Because the thing is that like Daniel falls for it time and time and time again. Chris Chan, at the very least, I think after being on the internet for 20 plus years or whatever the fuck, it's been forever. At the least, Chris is a little more cautious now. I think he's at least learned, or I don't know what they identify as. I apologize. They've at least learned after.
She now, yeah.
I don't remember. It doesn't matter. I think after many years of being online, they don't fall for it as often. Daniel just falls for it every single time without fail, and I don't even know how that's possible. I don't know how you do that.
That's what I'm saying, and it's like one of those things where it's like I don't hate Dan. I don't know enough about Dan to like him or dislike him. Like how you guys should like the video, but like
and subscribe.
Subscribe, but like it's weird. Let's
behavior. Today's cheers turn into tomorrow's mockery as communities oscillate between fake support and outright harassment, keeping the Lolcow perpetually off balance. What's especially troubling is how a whole economy has formed around milking Lolcows. Views and clicks translate to money, and a network of content creators has sprung up to supply the demand for Lolcow.
Lost the world with a 5.
There were things that Chris did do on their own. People built off it, like with the boyfriend-free girl phase, but Chris started that one.
Again?
Oh yeah, that's true.
Views and clicks translate to money, and a network of content creators has sprung up to supply the demand for Lolcow drama. Entire forums like the notorious Kiwi Farms and countless subreddit or Discord groups are devoted to tracking Lolcow antics. Kiwi Farms in particular became infamous. It started as a site to catalog the life of one early Lolcow, more on him later, and now deems itself as a community, discussing eccentric people who voluntarily make fools of themselves. Absolute bullshit. In reality, many of their
I mean, let's be honest, anyone could be on the farms. It's not just Lolcows. Content creators are on the farms. I know I've been mentioned. They don't know. I've been mentioned because of the Dansburg stuff to other dramas. Like,
right.
It happens.
I'm pretty sure I've been mentioned before too. I think they think I'm fat and annoying, which is, pretty much.
I don't know. I don't. If I remember correctly, from what I remember, they don't know how to feel about me because I've made good content and then Lio Convoy and Beckett, which is I don't really care.
Yeah, they don't like Beckett at all, which I think is hilarious.
But I think that the farms, unironically, I think the farms is fine. I don't talk about them much because that's the rule. But like,
also I would. Oh, yay!
Yeah, go. Starving.
Go talk.
Yay!
Go.
Doug.
No, go say your thing.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say, like, this argument, I don't disagree with the argument. I would also say that, like, this sort of idea that they think of could apply to even just regular drama content.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, because of the Reddits, yeah.
This isn't universal. Like, Kiwi Farms, like, Reddit likes to act like they're the better Kiwi Farms, right? Because they have, like, ethics or whatever the fuck. They act the same way. Like, it's not... Maybe it's more soy over on Reddit. Maybe Redditors are just more, like, clutching pearls. But, like, they're all gawking at the same shit. This is pretty universal when you're making videos talking about other people.
Yeah. Also it's time to feed that dog. It's time to feed the puppers. It's time to give her treats. It's time to feed the dog now on the Uplock stream tonight. Come on, girl. Up. Sit up. I don't give you the treat while you lie down. Good girl.
She's
good girl.
She's laying down on that bed. She's laying down. She's just like, give me that treat.
Oh, she always is. She always is. But
give it to me. I'm a princess.
I do think that's the thing that, like, listen, you can have feelings about the farms, but like the farms are not the only one that does it. It's just the most notorious for it.
They're just the ones that, like, have people's addresses on their underneath, like,
that shit's on Reddit too. That shit is on Reddit.
That is true.
That shit's on Reddit. Go to a snark thread, which I have no problem with snark threads either. Come on, like that shit's there. Yeah. Treating Kiwi Farms as like the big bad is, in my opinion, insane. Let's go back.
I mean, you could argue that it's probably bad in a PC world if you really want to argue. They say slur. Yeah, sure, okay. I guess
welcome to YouTube.
Welcome to YouTube. Welcome to the internet, I guess. You can't control what everybody does and how everyone conducts themselves online. That's how I just got over it. I'm just like, I would only call out someone using slurs if they themselves are somebody who's like, if either one, I think it's funny, or two, they're like, I'm anti-slur, and then it turns out they said slurs. I'd be like, then you're just a hypocrite. Like, sorry.
Yeah.
Those are my only two stipulations. If I think it's funny, or if you're a hypocrite, then I'll call it out.
Hold up, I gotta be right back real quick because there's something at the door. Give me 20
Chat,
seconds.
what's your favorite color? Chat, what's your favorite color? I'm sure he's not gonna be gone for that long. I just thought the idea was funny. Purple. That's a pretty good color. Cloudy, that's my favorite color too. Black is also a great color. I like that color. Mint is a great color. Green. Are you guys proud of me yet? Have I done it? Have I done it, chat? Am I entertaining? Am I Greg now? He's probably went to get food or something. Chat, what's your favorite food? I'll be different. I won't be asking colors, I'll be asking food. What are all y'all eating today? Have you eaten today, actually? That's a good question. Make sure you feed yourselves, chat. Has anyone drank water? I haven't done that. I don't know why I'm asking anybody. I should. Chat, actually, I got automatic feeders for my cats, and I'm really happy, because now it looks like they have
that? The chat loves you here.
Of course they do. Of course they do.
Sorry.
What else are they going to be watching?
Oh my god, you're terrible. But no,
you think they're there for you? Nah.
You damn. No, they opened up this new place the new burger joint by me called Freddy's. So I thought I'd try it. I don't know what it is.
Horror.
Fuck you.
Targets don't volunteer for the abuse they get. They're often people lacking the social awareness to realize how they appear, or they're lacking the coping skills to handle life in general, much less thousands of people actively messing with them. What started as a small phenomenon on lucrative forums or Reddit posts or discords, on YouTube, commentary channels have turned Lolcow content into a lucrative genre. Creators like Turkey Tom, Smokey McSee, and Kiwi Tapes routinely produce Lolcow documentaries or reaction videos that highlight the most humiliating moments of these individuals' lives. They morally grandstand about their subjects' flaws.
Nobody morally grandstands. What the fuck are you saying?
I like Kiwi Tapes. He's actually a really chill guy.
Also,
I don't know.
Nobody morally grandstands on these people.
I don't think so. I think everyone just kind of agrees that we're all kind of shitheads.
Yeah, like I don't think anyone's ever morally grandstanded on fucking Nova Online of all fucking people.
Well, okay, if you want to morally grandstand on like with Nova, the big argument is he's a predator. If you want to morally grandstand and be like, guys, I would never touch kids, I don't think that's a bad moral grandstanding. I think that's pretty. I think when he says like morally grandstanding, I'm like, you do understand the people that they are morally lambasting and saying like these are bad morals to have as a person. Most of the people they say that around are people who have actively done horrible fucking things, like, I don't know, groom kids. Like, I think you can morally grandstand when someone's a pedophile.
Yeah.
So, like, I think that's fine.
I'm fine with the virtue signal, but highlighting the content creators, but not really highlighting what you find wrong with their content outside of, well, they're attacking these like lowly people. When would I not be the same for covering Brad? Would I not be the same for premiering? I hate fucking even saying that, but like, I think
I can understand kind of where they're coming from in terms of it is a punch down. Like,
yeah, it's always a punch down.
Turkish Tomothy. They do punch down on these people. Like, these are giant content creators punching down on little people, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I understand that aspect of it, but when you kind of understand in terms of like notoriety on the internet that like sub count and like view numbers I guess do kind of matter. Sub count really doesn't matter. Like, there's a lot of people on this platform that have 1 million subscribers or even like up to 10 million subscribers. Never heard of them in my life.
Yeah.
Never heard of them in my life. So like, if you were to say that more people know who Chris Chan is versus knowing, say, who I am, like, yeah, maybe Chris Chan doesn't have the same following as I do, but like more people know who they are.
Yeah.
Then we would say me. I would say like more people know who's a big like Lolcow other than Chris Chan. I keep using Chris Chan, but I'm sure there's other, like, a lot of people know who Cyrax is.
DSP. I mean, DSP is a Lolcow. Like,
I think he's a lot more of a mainstream Lolcow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the Lolcows that like didn't start off as Lolcows actually garner a following because people actually like them for something, and then they became a Lolcow over time. Like, people who start off as Lolcows.
Boogie
was definitely one of them for sure.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, those people are huge. More people know who Boogie, DSP, Wings and Redemption is versus me, who's a shithead who like observes them from afar and commentates on the things they do.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter the size range of it, so long as like the notoriety is. I would argue more people know who World of T-Shirts is versus me, because he's literally in New York making a name for himself as like either what does he do in New York?
He's the king of New York.
He gives tours. Yeah, he's the king of New York. He got a billboard once. I never got a billboard.
I would love a billboard.
I would love a billboard. Especially one of those animated ones.
Oh my god, maybe, yeah.
The most humiliating moments of these individuals' lives. They morally grandstand about their subjects' flaws, painting Lolcows as horrible people whose antics deserve exposure, but their comments mirror high school bullies targeting the special needs kid for a laugh. There's even a grotesque sense of spectacle. Like Kiwi Tapes and his associate Smokey McSee both post videos regularly documenting these people and host a degenerate live stream where they sit around and make fun of Lolcows. These YouTubers often collaborate and share info. The tone.
Yeah, that's how YouTubers work.
The holier than thou, sanctimonious tosser, like the guy in the video, also orbit in Lolcow communities to basically argue with detractors.
Yeah, like I understand where this person's coming from as like an emotional, like from an emotional place, from like an ethical place.
I'm sure it's not great to watch two people kind of shit and giggle on another person. Like, it's like, yeah, if you're somebody who's like very anti-bullying, who's really affected by that, yeah, maybe their streams aren't for you. But again, as someone who has spoken to Kiwi Tapes, I think he's a generally good guy. And most of the people that they're ogling and gawking at are literal predators. Like, it's not them high school bullying. It's literally them being like, let's treat pedophiles like a joke, as they should be. Like, them being just equating what they do to just high school bullying all the time. Sure, maybe if you're talking about, I don't know, King Cobra JFS. But what I find interesting about King Cobra is, like, when he died, nobody, like, said, you know, fuck that guy, I'm glad that autistic moron's dead. No, everyone's was pretty upset by it, because these people don't view these people as something to laugh at and to bully and mock relentlessly. They're just like, well, you're sharing it to the internet, I would like to commentate on what you're doing.
And
like,
not only that, in the advent of King Cobra's death, a lot of people looked into the girlfriend, because a lot of people think the girlfriend killed him by sending him like toxic shit.
Whoa, what? Wait.
No, a lot of people think. I saw like an interesting conglomerate of people who think the girlfriend of King Cobra was sending him toxic things for him to eat and drink. And,
I mean, he was kind of already doing that.
And he was already doing it,
meat.
but like a lot of people, like I saw a good like sect of people thinking that was it. There was a surprising amount of charity for Cobra.
Yeah, do we know how he died? Or is that not
natural causes? I don't know if I don't think his father will ever release it.
How do you die of natural causes at 33?
You know what I mean though. Like probably kidney failure, all that kind of shit. But like I don't know. Like it.
The guy smoked weed every single day. I imagine his lungs were not fantastic.
We need a big alleged here, buddy. No. I'm going to say this. There is a conglomerate of people. I didn't say I was one of them. I want to make that very clear. I did not say that.
Human beings.
Other people are speculating.
I don't know. I just learned this information. I don't know anything.
Have you seen the drinks and food that he produced? Yes.
Yes.
But that's what I'm saying. Like there was a conglomerate of people who were like ready to wring a person's neck over his death, because everyone saw him as a Lolcow, but like a person who didn't really commit a crime.
Yeah, it's only when these people do something that is morally really reprehensible do they get bullied and treated as like a massive joke.
Yeah.
Right? Half of the people that Smokey and Kiwi Takes talk about have preyed on children. That's why they bully them. Like, King Cobra JFS is a great example. He didn't really do anything. He was just kind of weird.
Yeah.
And he made toxic food that only hurt himself. Like, the only person that King Cobra was hurting was him. And that's why people, when he died, people were like, oh man, I loved that guy. And it's like, yeah, they treated him like a spectacle to laugh at, but it's because he didn't do anything. He was just a weird guy. And it's okay to kind of like observe somebody who's being a little odd and be like, huh, that's interesting. That's a little weird. And if any of these other Lolcows, like say Nova Online was just a weird dude that like was really bad at karaoke and like made cringy videos reviewing food, people are like, huh, that's a little weird. You know what I mean? But it's because he's a baby fetishless pedophile that people are like, let's bully the shit out of this guy because they're doing something bad. Like they're not being bullied for no reason.
Yeah,
not just for the lols. It's because they're bad people
and like
they're awful human beings.
And like the other thing would be too. It's like Tofia Chu, right? A lot of people did feel bad about Brother Chu getting shot and killed. A lot of people did feel bad, and then she kind of goes on the internet and maybe blames her detractors. And that's like, no, it was a robbery gone and it's a carjacking gone terribly, terribly wrong.
Like, if you kind of view a lot of these communities in the vacuum, right? When bad things happen that are generally, like, not good to these people, they don't, like, see that as another opportunity to, ooh, I can get another video out of this. Sometimes I would say that Smokey goes a little too far, but, like, for the most part, most of the people are like, this bad thing happened, this is really horrible and awful, and I would wish this on nobody.
Yeah.
It's like, for a community that does milk these people for entertainment, they do at least draw the line at literal bad things happening to them, you know what I mean? Which is pretty interesting that they have that moral code despite the reputation they've garnered that this person has apparently interpreted of these people of the internet.
Yeah, I think what I am a little off put by so far in the video is the interpretation of the people that cover it, and not necessarily just like how these people are interacting with their detractors as well.
Oh, for sure. And I think that, like, immediately going for, like, some of the bigger ones, like I would argue that, like, say Kiwi Tapes and Smokey are a bit more poo touchy than, say, Turkey Tom is. Turkey Tom just is, like, observing things that happen online and, like, rehashing everything he sees on Reddit. Like, it's like, it's a copy-paste content style, which is fine, it works. Some would say I would do the same shit, mayhaps. But they do interviews with these lolcows that they find at least generally fascinating, and you could argue that that's all for entertainment. Like, oh, they're not getting an interview because they genuinely think it's interesting. They're getting the interview because they want content. Sure, you could argue that. But I think...
Fuck Rush, no, he did not say that.
Guys, we gotta be nicer to groomers.
No, he didn't say that.
He didn't say that
this
yet.
guy.
He didn't say that. He's just saying that, like, all these people who do this sort of, like, coverage are just bullying people who don't just, like, vulnerable people. And sure, these people are vulnerable, but they're also doing terrible shit. It's not for no reason. But I would say that, like, again, when it comes to Kiwi Tapes and Smokey, they're not actively encouraging their fan base to make them do terrible things. They're just like, let's get interviews and try to see what's this guy's deal. Like, I think bringing these people up, like, if they brought up maybe Music Biz Marty, you know, people that actually have met these people in person and beat the shit out of them, I would say that's maybe a better argument. But, like, I think there's a big difference. I really
Funny
do.
how he accuses these guys for moral grandstanding while he's doing the exact same thing with this video.
It is a thing. Yeah. Let's see.
I mean, if you think Lolcow content's so bad, why are you making a video about Lolcow content being bad? Does that not contribute to the Lolcow content? You know what I mean? It's like a snake eating itself. You know what I mean?
It always is. It's lazy. It always is.
The tone of this content is self-congratulatory. These creators act like intrepid investigators or vigilantes exposing the misdeeds of the Lolcow. But in all actuality, they're just getting paid to harass a complete stranger online just because that person is different or unattractive to them. It's bullying for profit, thinly cloaked as internet journalism or justice. To be fair though, not every so-called Lolcow is mentally
That's a very interesting example. I love that the 50 gifties is up here. Guys, I will be there for this stream. You don't understand. This was my first ever little Lolcow I discovered. That not a lot of people had been talking about at the time. And I'm like, this guy deserves a video.
Guys!
It'll be fun.
Did you guys just hear that? I have to do it. I have to retitle it with Lazy. with Lazy Bedhead. Oh my gosh.
This is your favorite team up of all time. Don't you want to see it again? Give him 50 gifties.
God
I will be there for the Andy Ditch video, please.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna have to go to the properties because it's so long. I'm gonna have to put it like a lower. Okay, and then
Lazy and Lolcows.
honestly, that would be the name.
That would be the name.
disabled or innocent. There are some exceptions where relatively mainstream but disliked figures get this label. For example, certain controversial gaming streamers or vloggers with no diagnosed disabilities have been dubbed Lolcows after repeated public meltdowns. The dark side Phils or wings of redemptions of the internet are mocked largely for their behavior and attitude.
Copen Seeth Raiders! Welcome, Copen Raiders! Welcome, Seething Malding! Hello, Becky!
I find it interesting that he's using, I would argue, yeah, DSP mayhaps, I suppose. Oh, more denominations. I love
wow, using lazy for views. You've fallen off, Falgy. I'm disappointed.
Of course, motherfucker. I use my friends for views all the time. Where the fuck are the new videos so I can react to them?
Bro, I find it very interesting that they're using Wings of Redemption, and I mean, in some cases, sure. Like I think that I see his point.
Yeah.
Problem is, Wings of Redemption has argued that he's okay with like a 12-year-old having sex. I think that does get you a little bit of mockery.
I also think that I would argue that you are missing the point where, specifically for DSP, you could make fun of DSP a lot. You can make fun of DSP a lot for shit. But can you not also equate the fact that people will just shut off his internet and throttle him on purpose to fuck with him?
Also the thing is with, like, I don't know, with people like DSP, like people who are like Lolcows who haven't really done harmful things, maybe they've said harmful shit. The most that they do to, like, say Wings of Redemption is, like, maybe stream snipe him. Like, they're not going to his house. Like, the ones that go to the actual, like, people's houses, like Nova Online or Cyrex, it's because those people are, like, pedos. And do I agree that they should be going to their house and, like, doing that to them? No. But, like, it's because they've done really horrendous shit. Like, it's... I think the people who are Lolcows, who haven't done as bad things as, say, be predatory, don't get the same level of harassment as, say, the ones that do. You know, and it's like, do you argue that that's fair and that's deserved? You could make an argument, do they really deserve that? That would probably be a better argument than being like, oh, all these people are just, like, milking them for money. And it's like, I mean, sure, maybe that's, you could make that argument also, but, like, I would say that when it comes to, like, the content that, say, we make, or something that Kiwi Tapes makes, like, some of that stuff gets demonetized a lot just because of the subject matter, so you can't really make any money. You just have to do it in a live stream, and even those don't do super well, dependent on, like, what your audiences like to watch, right? Like, they'll want to watch the videos over maybe watching the streams, and then maybe that doesn't make as much money. I don't know. But, like, it's, again, I think it's a big moral grandstanding because, like, I don't know if this person's videos are monetized or anything like that, but, like,
they have like 2,000 subs.
Oh, probably not. Well, they could.
No, it would be by now. By now,
sure.
I think they had 1,000 or so, maybe a little bit, maybe 2,000 when the video came out.
Right. I don't know. I just don't think that, like, I think when people make the argument about money, specifically.
Yeah.
Ara, cool anime girls. Tip $2. Welcome Raiders to your one-stop shop for everything news and drama. Your host is the lovely Lazy and Falgy. If you like and subscribe, Falgy will be your personal therapist, primary doctor, OnlyFans streamer, cat maid, financial advisor, and taxman.
For legal reasons, none of those things are true. For legal reasons.
I don't know, I just feel like if someone's gonna make the money argument, right?
Yeah.
It would have to be for something really egregious, and I don't think that I think if you're gonna be like, okay, they shouldn't be making money off of content that talks about vulnerable people, then I would argue that most people who make the tea content that talk about the bigger content creators, then none of us can. Especially not the tea content creators that all they do is talk about the big dramas that comes out of, like, I don't know, fucking James Charles or whatever the shit. Like,
Little man with a 5.
Lazy wouldn't know the successful streamer she is now.
She wouldn't know.
Dude,
I don't actually. Am I successful at streaming?
Depends on how you look at success.
I'd argue the videos do better, but...
Oh, they always will, though.
Those are wings of redemptions of the internet are mocked largely for their behavior and attitude, not a cognitive impairment. But those cases only prove the rule. When a person isn't particularly vulnerable, trolls usually just call them idiots or scumbags and move on. It's the truly...
That's not true! They fuck with DSP so hard!
They have not stopped fucking with DSP, and I'm like,
they've turned off DSP's internet access. They've literally, he has trolls that turn off his internet. What are you saying?
So, okay, wait. I needed, like, my brain is lagged 2 minutes before.
Oh my god.
Don't show this guy TLC. He'll explode.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, I'm catching up. Guys. So wait, is he just arguing that, like, is he I'm confused by the argument that the standard is if they don't have a mental impairment, they just call them an idiot and move on.
Yes.
But like when they do have a mental impairment, they treat them worse.
Yes, that's exactly what he's saying.
Okay.
That's exactly what he's saying.
Got it. Okay. I would argue that mayhaps someone's mental illness may make their eccentric or unusual behavior more erratic and thus make them more of an interesting observation because you're like, I wouldn't act like this. Why is this person acting like this? So, sure. But I would also argue that DSP, even though they don't have any sort of mental disabilities, also acts pretty erratic and weird, and people go, I wouldn't act like this. Why is a normal person who doesn't have a mental disability act like this? Like, what is happening?
I mean, DSP very famously jacked it on stream by accident, but very famously.
That was just blatantly wrong.
Yeah.
Bro, really?
It was blatantly incorrect.
Now, if you want to argue that, like, maybe Lolcow content has an ableist problem, sure. I do think that maybe people who are, like, mentally, you know, whatever, have a mental impairment probably post more and probably more erratic more often because obviously whatever it may be, autism, BPD, whatever it may be, doesn't make them behave as normally as, like, say, a regular internet user that doesn't have that. But, like, you know, I know plenty of people who have all of the things that people like Daniel Larson have, and they're completely normal. It's a spectrum. That's the whole point.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
you know.
It's exactly correct.
I mean, I get where he's coming from, that maybe there is an ableist issue. Sure. Like, I don't think... I feel like if there are certain people who are like, who look at people who are autistic and then their first assertion is, oh, people like Daniel Larson, that is a problem. That's legitimately an issue. But, like... I feel like they kind of treat people all kind of equally in terms of, like, if they see him as a Lolcow, they're gonna get treated like most Lolcows. It's like, it's not like if they check the autism box and then they're gonna go harder. It's like, it's just more dependent on who's a bigger target or, like, who has more of the notoriety, right?
And like, I think like that, Rocky BB says, like, Wings has some of the worst trolls on the internet. Like, they fucking... And, like, listen, Wings is not a good person by any means. Don't get me the fuck wrong. But yeah, Wings got fucking terrible trolls. Again, it's just, he's just factually incorrect. I mean, even...
Yeah.
You know what's really interesting? Because this is actually, like, kind of... The problem with this is that, like, then you... Like, he's making, like, weird excuses for... Oh, but if you're not mentally handicapped, it's okay for the abuse. Because you could take it, right? And again, I'm not.
Oh, that's weird.
And you know what I'm saying? Like, that is the line of logic that he's stating. And again, I don't care.
It is, I've applied this before. Is that, like, when it comes to Lolcow content, I think that people are a lot more aloggy about it when it's a longevity of supply theory, right? As long as they are making constant streams of content where they're, you know, constantly asserting themselves on the internet, having their meltdowns or whatever it may be. Obviously people are going to flock to that even more, and, you know, hyperfixate on it even more. But eventually, like, these Lolcow communities, if you're not keeping up with the longevity of supply, they're gonna get bored. Like, a lot of people stopped talking about Wings of Redemption for a really long time because, like, even though he's an old school Lolcow, he stopped doing Lolcow stuff. Like, he did that whole boxing thing and won, and then people actually had some real respect for him for a while. Like, people eventually do, if it's the same content over and over and they're not doing crazy stuff, they do eventually just kind of move on. Like, it's not like Wings of Redemption is, like, the biggest target who constantly keeps getting it today. Maybe he still does, but it's because the longevity of supply has slowed down.
Yeah, and the biggest thing is, like, Wings, and like Ivy Slice said, yeah, in the big Lolcow vacation thing, Wings shoved his wife down. And That
She's not a good person.
It reignited a lot of stuff because a lot of people had already, and people went back and they were like, hey, you guys didn't see when he grabbed her wrist while they were driving. And like,
right.
I mean, okay, you say attacked his boss. Listen, I'm gonna keep it a buck. If Keem was my boss and pissing me off, I might have hit Keem too. Like, and Keem knows that that's good entertainment. You got to remember, Keem likes entertainment. He will push the fucking button if he wants to.
Is Keem a boss or is Keem like a handler?
Boss. No, he's their boss.
Okay.
They get paid money. That is their boss.
Right.
He's the Lolcow universe's boss. He is the one that divvies out the money, from what I understand.
I find it interesting he went from talking about like classic internet drama, like stuff that's going on with the bigger known names, to doing Lolcow stuff. That's an interesting like pipeline. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, he's evolved over time. Listen, you don't have to. The overarching story is, and again, like I have like degrees of separation from Keem. I don't know the guy personally, but what I can say especially with Keem is like him or hate him, he has responded in the way that you probably should, even in the midst of controversy. Even when he fucks up, he tries.
The guy is.
Yeah,
I think just like I like how persistent the dude is. He's been through so many hashtag cancellations, and like he has never gone the fuck away. He's just like, I'm just gonna remain here for the rest of my life. I don't care if people think I'm a shithead. I'm like, I at least respect that. Like I
respect the spite. I do respect the spite.
I do respect existing out of spite in some regard, because it's like a lot of these people when they face a hashtag cancellation, they run with their tail tucked in their legs, and I'm like, I would have liked it if you had just stuck around and just kept making content for me to just like be like, at least they're still alive, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. All right, let's get back into this.
Truly vulnerable individuals, those with autism, schizophrenia, intellectual delays, severe trauma, or who knows what, are those that become long-term Lolcow targets, precisely because they're easy to provoke and less equipped to defend themselves. If these people weren't mentally ill or impaired, they'd likely just be widely hated for any bad behavior, not endlessly exploited as an ongoing clown.
Again, that's everybody on the internet, though.
That is also not true. If Daniel Larson wasn't schizophrenic and autistic, but still acted the way he did, he would still be a Lolcow.
Because he's also a pedophile!
Well, that too. Well, you could argue that maybe his content seems more erratic because of his mental illnesses, but I can guarantee you, if Daniel Larson was not autistic and schizophrenic and still doing all the things that he was doing, just not out of the explanation being his mental illnesses, he would still be a Lolcow. Like, it would still happen. They would still like A-log the shit out of him, because it's like, well, if it's not autism, what is the explanation?
Well, I think something really interesting too, because I saw it was like recently in my recommended, I didn't get a chance to, and I overheard, I think it was Chud Logic or somebody reacting to it, but this lady put out a video on autism and Neil Gaiman. If people don't know, Neil Gaiman, author of the Sandman, Coraline. No, did Neil Gaiman do Coraline?
I'm pretty sure he did. Unless we're talking about
Neil Gaiman did Sandman, author of Sandman, the Devil Show that I can't remember what the fuck it's called.
Omens?
Good Omens. Oh, he did do Coraline. Holy shit, I didn't even know that.
Yep.
He last year, I think it was this year or last year, had sweeping sexual assault allegations by multiple women.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah, and like sweeping abuse of power, potentially like incredibly deviant sexual desires. One of which would have had like a woman eat her own vomit for sexual gratification for his.
What the fuck?
Yeah, like it was like a nanny and other people that may or may not have worked with him.
What is happening?
And this woman made a video on it, and it was interesting because like sometimes some of those things could be a little preachy, sometimes be a little preachy, right? But she was being reasonable and saying, listen, Neil's saying I couldn't have done this. I have autism. I don't understand like social interactions.
That was an excuse?
Yeah, that's like apparently that's one of his excuses. And this is like a woman that's saying, no, that's not how autism works. But again, we've heard people like one of the biggest things in the Lolcowdom, and I think you and I can agree with this too. When you're examining Lolcows, sometimes Lolcows would be like, well, I'm autistic though. Guys, you don't understand, I'm autistic.
I think fucking what was it? Earl Doobie was like that.
Yeah,
too,
Earl was like that. It's just cartoons, and it's like
not only that, but like he would just be like, I'm extremely autistic. He like kind of used that as like an explanation.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I accept that as an explanation. I don't accept that as an excuse, which I think a lot of people are kind of confused by that concept of like, well, when is it an excuse and when is it an explanation?
Yeah.
And to be fair, I'm not sure if I completely know how to explain it myself, really. I just know that when some people are like sometimes it's a blatant example. Like, it's like, why did you do this? Explain your behavior. And you're like, guys, you don't understand. I'm autistic. Now you're just using that as like the excuse.
Well,
right?
here's how I don't know. Here's how I always look at it. If autism was the excuse, like unironically, if autism was the excuse, it'd be part of the diagnostic criteria.
Sure.
It would be a sweeping issue within the autistic community about consent. It just would be. And that's not a thing. It's just not a thing. And like Rocky BB highlights, this is an actual reality. There's a good portion of farmers and A-loggers that are equally autistic. Equally autistic.
A lot of the people who like kind of observe this content, make this content A-log, are also on the spectrum. So like, are you saying that those people like are kind of contributing to a problem of ableism in the community when they themselves have the ables?
Yeah.
The ables. What the fuck am I saying?
Okay, what do you mean? Oh, hi, it's the first Friday of the month. Time for Falia to get spammed with 50 gifties. I don't have multiple 50 gifty goals.
I want the 50 gifties because this man needs to know who Randy Ditch is.
I already have a Femboy stream, an Omegaverse stream coming up now. It's not going to be the same day. Femboy stream will be different. Femboy stream will be maybe in October. When we go to TwitchCon, only because I have to act like Cloudy has to be here to doll me the fuck up. Yes, as Wayward Destiny says, and this has always been my thing, an explanation helps you come to a better solution. An excuse is trying to get out of consequences. I always say that. It's something that does infuriate me, just because. And it's the same thing with like addiction, any kind of mental health stuff. It provides an explanation, not an excuse for the continued behaviors after the fact.
I would say that Andy Ditch is a good example of someone that uses quote unquote his quote unquote autism.
Yeah.
As the excuse to act like a dickhead.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's like, guys, I literally called that social worker a cunt because I'm autistic.
Yeah.
That is a good that's a good example of using autism as the excuse, not the explanation. Like, when I make my Lolcow content, if a Lolcow I'm covering does have mental illnesses, I do go into that because I'm like, guys, what we're dealing with today is somebody who may not 100% understand like the consequences of their actions or their actions leading to certain consequences. Like, observing their mental illnesses as the reason as to why they act certain ways and as to why they don't understand why what they did was fucked up. That I think is a good conversation, and that's how a lot of these newer content creators talk about these Lolcow content creators. So when he says they're only doing it for likes and clicks and whatever, it's like, then watch Wonder's videos, watch Nick Nobody's. You can see that they have a lot of empathy for their mental illnesses and understand that that's probably an explanation to why they're like
tipped
this.
$1. Hello, Dr. Michael Falgi and Holy Bubble Pope. What do you call a pile of cats?
What?
A meow NTAIN. What do lawyers wear to work? Lawsuits. What has more lives than cats? Frogs, because they clearly croak every day. What's red and bad for your teeth?
What?
A brick.
Oh, God. Yes.
Gorsh used the autism excuse
cartoon.
for his
Yes, he
sick folder.
did.
He did?
From what I know, apparently he did.
God. I love the horse fucking folder. It's my favorite lore of the internet. I love it every time I hear it.
Stop saying that. You're gonna get clipped.
I'm sorry.
You're gonna get clipped now. You're fucked.
The cruel truth is that Lolcow farmers pick the low-hanging fruit. They target people who can't fully fight back or comprehend the game, and then they milk them under the pretense of documenting that.
No, not that.
Lazy covering dance burst when?
You could cover. Okay, so there are videos about Dan. You could cover parts of them, and then
I mean,
at least the interview is funny. Not because it's my interview. Not because it's my interview. It's just really funny. It is a great. It's a gay old time.
That's funny. That's pretty funny.
Bad behavior. Let's look at a few specific cases, some of the internet's most notorious lolcows, just to see how this pattern plays out in practice and how tragic it can become. One of TikTok's recent cautionary tales is Joshua Block, also known by his handle World of T-Shirts. Josh started out as a quirky, geeky kid from Long Island who loved making upbeat dancing videos. By 2020, at around age 19 or 20, he had gained millions of followers filming himself singing and dancing at tourist spots. A wholesome, somewhat awkward local celebrity. Notably, Josh is on the autism spectrum, and in high school, he had actually thrived with a supportive network and family. He was an honor roll student and even a track athlete, defying the low expectations some had for him back then. Back then, his innocent, almost childlike enthusiasm was part of the charm. As his grandfather said, Josh is himself. He does it all alone. Proud that his autistic grandson was fearlessly putting himself out there. However, once Josh became an adult, darker influences seeped in. The same addictive personality that led him to chug the boba and coffee on camera. It was harmless fun back then. Made him an easy mark once he turned 21 and discovered alcohol.
Okay, but he chose to drink.
Yeah, well, cause nobody actually pushed him into drinking. Like, it didn't, it's not like as soon as he turned 21, there was a bunch of fucking, like, his handlers, the ones that people don't like, went, yes, drink, Josh, you are now, no, he went out and did that on his own, because when you're somebody whose brain works very much on a schedule and very much on key point events in your life, that's what you're gonna end up doing. And also, I would argue that people who, when Josh first started off, really liked him, like, they thought he was, like, a weirdo, and they did think maybe he was a lolcow, like, in the beginning. But it was just because he was a little awkward and quirky. He also had an incident where he stomped a fish to death before the drinking thing. So, like, that's probably why people were kind of picking on him, was because he stomped a fish to death and he thought it was funny. I would argue that was before he became an alcoholic. That there was a kind of a darker side to Josh before he became an alcoholic.
Well, and I think the issue is, I think the problem is that this video creator doesn't necessarily have the timeline correct. Because it is his current, his handler and then Mr. Based, who are abhorrent pieces of shit and should probably get repeatedly hit by cars. They should probably just constantly walk onto the Cross Bronx. He'd actually fucking, if you walk on the Cross Bronx, you can just walk between the cars because nobody's fucking moving.
Right.
I don't know, fucking swim in the Hudson. I don't know what to fucking tell you. And don't come up.
I don't think he recognizes that the people who are, like, handling him now, that encourage him to drink more, encourage him to react more, a lot of people consider them lolcows too.
Yes,
like,
especially Mr. Based.
Oh yeah.
We're still at the start. He's annoying me now.
I know. It's just the start of the video. It feels like they're infantilizing the lolcows like they're children. So I'm going to be honest. If this guy works in social work, which I do, I believe it.
Mm-hmm.
I think he hasn't fully gotten over that autistic individuals are not children.
Do they do that? I don't know if I've never been in social work. Do they kind of like, what's the protocol? Do they kind of like...
So the idea of caring for anyone who has like a developmental disability or any kind is like trying to promote their own agency and their own autonomy. And that's actually in any kind of healthcare. Like for instance, let's say you suffer a stroke, right? You are promoting autonomy because you have to make reasonable expectations for what their level of care is. So if they have left-sided paralysis, but they're regaining efforts and movement, you kind of set up a care plan for them. Very I haven't worked in like group homes and stuff like that, but group homes do that where they try to provide agency. There's different levels of assisted living for individuals who are disabled. Sometimes they don't cook for themselves, but sometimes they live in their own pseudo apartments with a roommate, yada yada. There are different things to do, but you do want to support their agency because there's a couple different realities. One, unfortunately, one of your funding may disappear and they may not be able to have the assets. Two, especially, it's hard for families, from my personal experience, having autistic family members as well on a range of the spectrum, there's that inherent fear of, if their primary caretaker dies, what the fuck are they going to do? You have to pray that there's someone as kind, as caring, and as nurturing as that primary caregiver. And sometimes those people don't have that. So trying to promote a level of autonomy is incredibly, incredibly important. But setting up and giving structure for that autonomy to give them the best possible outcome. And that's the biggest thing. And it's like, I completely get what he's saying, but specifically World of T-Shirts here, like he made the TikToks himself. He had agency. His family was taking care of him, and then he stepped out on his own and couldn't handle it. But they can't just rein him in because he doesn't want to be reined in. And
he's an adult. Like, it's up to him, really, ultimately, what happens. And, like, that's the thing that I think this person, like, his arguments are sound. I don't disagree, but it's like, to what point do you completely take away these people's agency? Yeah. Right? At what point do you recognize that, like, you can acknowledge that, like, maybe there is an ableism problem in Lolcow spheres where they will target specifically autistic Lolcows who can't defend themselves, but is saying that they can't defend themselves taking away their agency? Is saying that their actions being that oh, these Lolcow content creators, all they do is prop up these Lolcows' worst moments, but is saying that disregarding the fact that these Lolcows can respond.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
They do it all the time, actually. So, like, it does saying that the problem lies solely on, like, people like you or me, or, like, people like Kiwi Tapes, Nick Nobody, I'm Wonder, is saying that we're the problem, taking away from the agency of these Lolcows, and be like, they just can't defend themselves. You don't understand. They can't defend themselves at all. Why are you picking on a guy who can't defend himself? They can. They're not. Their mental disabilities does not make them incapable of either defending their actions or explaining them. Like, Daniel Larson explains his actions all the time.
Yeah,
by saying they're out to kill him. Like, his explanation, he's paranoid. That's the explanation.
And a big thing too is that nobody is holding them at gunpoint to post about their lives. They want to, and it's not like a bad thing. I don't want to say that this is a bad thing necessarily, but it's like, we can't like. Infantilizing them removes them of their actions. Now, because I see it in the chat about specifically World of T-Shirts. His name is his name Josh, if I remember correctly. That's his first name.
Joshua, yep.
Yeah, Joshua Block, right? So for Josh, yes, I've seen the him hitting people or attacking people, screaming at people, jumping on the car. But there is a reality with Josh is that that's how he acts out. He is obviously being antagonized by the person who is handling him, Mr. Based, who we've all identified as a terrible person. Even the people who cover World of T-Shirts constantly fucking call him out. It was at the point where Mr. Based almost got fucking arrested. I don't even know if he still got arrested because he fucking assaulted somebody to the point where they bled. Like,
right.
Like we're at the point where it's like, what's gonna happen? Yeah.
Yeah, Josh's issue is that if his way of acting out when he's, like, overwhelmed, overstimulated, whatever it may be, is violence, he needs to be in a controlled environment for him to be able to express himself and act that out without hurting other people. His handlers, who are people, like, I say handlers, it feels a little weird to call them handlers.
It's the term he uses, so it's like kind of one of those things.
Yeah, it's the term. Yeah, it is the term. Like, but I'd say the more correct term would be like
wranglers,
like
agent, yeah.
Yeah, the problem with Josh Block is not that people are. I mean, sure, you could argue people exploit his outburst for content. That is true, but you know who's doing that? It's not the people who are reporting on it. It's the people who are handling him, who are there. Yeah. Like, all we could do as observers who are from afar can be like, hey, this autistic person needs better, like,
these are not real carers, they're enablers.
They're not real caretakers, right? And if the problem is, like, not the caretakers, and it's like, oh, but you're the one who's actually pointing this out and, like, propping up these bad moments, you're the problem. It's like, how is me saying, like, hey, Josh did this, and he did this because his handlers are shit at their job. How am I more of the problem? Like, what?
Yeah, and unfortunately, we don't live in a reality where we know that Josh wouldn't have become an alcoholic sans everything else. That's an honest reality that that's an honest thought process that we will never, ever know about. But yeah, no, this is like. And this is why I think, like, it's incredibly important. Like, it's not a moral grandstand thing. I am the soy one, but I will like honestly say it. Like, this
Dude,
is why
I'm more soy than you. Like, what are we talking about?
But it's like, you know, fuck Rush. Yeah.
Mega hot take.
We love you,
50
Rush.
years ago, most lolcows would probably be town drunks or live and die alone in mental asylums. Is that better than what happens now?
I mean, I have a nuanced argument for asylums. I have a nuanced argument that we should reintroduce asylums as therapeutic communities, but that's a whole different argument for a whole different day. Whole different argument for a whole different day.
Aren't mental asylums just mental hospitals? Is that? Are they not?
They
the same
were, but like it's just it's a whole different thing. Whole different thing. Because like lobotomies, the freak show, it's like a whole fucking. It's got a history.
His content shifted to partying and binge drinking in New York bars and streets, often on live stream. Instead of cautioning him, much of his online audience cheered this behavior on. Viewers would actually encourage Josh's excessive drinking to see what wild, outrageous things he might do on camera next. In effect, internet strangers were treating him like a wind-up toy. The drunker Josh got, the more extreme and entertaining his behavior came to them, so they kept pushing it. Josh had no one positive looking out for his well-being. His mother had died of cancer when he was in his teens, and his father, who also struggled with addiction, was out of the picture. He lived with his grandparents, but once he was roaming Manhattan making videos, the internet became his main social circle. Sensing this vulnerability like some sort of sick vultures, some opportunists deemed Josh's handlers even leached onto him in real life. A middle-aged man named Michael Quinn began hanging out with Josh during his bar crawls, ostensibly
fuck
as a
Michael
friend.
Quinn. Fuck
But in
this
reality,
guy.
Quinn was exploiting Joshua's alcoholism.
Yes, and we all agree with that. We all agree with this. Even the people that cover this agree with this.
For clout and money.
yeah.
Quinn would appear in Joshua's live streams and videos, buying rounds of drinks or facilitating stunts, all the while growing his own online following from the spectacle. Quinn financially benefited by promoting himself and even directly using Josh's meltdowns as content. Let's just say many of Josh's genuine fans have accused Quinn of not having his best interests at heart, to put it mildly. Whole forums began to spring up to discuss and monitor his every move. There's a subreddit with thousands of members dedicated to just World of T-shirts gossip. The commentators in those circles share each new incident. Joshua passing out on a subway, Josh vomiting in public, Josh getting into a drunken shouting match, and so on and so forth. Rather than expressing any concern, many find it hilarious.
There are people that express concern, like actively and openly.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've been on the Josh Block Reddit before. All of them are like, this is just really sad that his alcoholism is getting worse.
Yeah, why can't you also show examples
if you
of that?
If you want to argue that, like, say, because a lot of these handlers, like, they have their own content and their own streams, right?
Yeah.
That's where we see a lot of Josh content live moments is by his handlers. If you want to argue that the handlers' audiences encourage him to drink because that's what their handlers are doing is like encouraging, then yes, but anyone that's outside of the audience of the handler and is observing Josh as like genuine fans of Josh before the alcoholism, a lot of them are like, dude, this is bad.
Yeah.
Like, this is you get a very interesting spectrum of Josh. His main fan base is the ones that have been there from the start, who recognize like the leeching off of has turned Josh into something they don't recognize anymore, versus the ones who are purely going off of the vibes of their handlers being like, oh, he wants to drink, he wants to do this because his handler said so, then we should encourage it because their handler is saying this is what he really wants. And the one thing I don't like, the one thing that's the problem with the handlers is that they speak on behalf of Josh. And I don't want to have to do that. But I will say that Josh is somebody who does enjoy being famous to some extent. Like, and I'm not saying that that means that he is inviting these people into his life to exploit him for the sake of him being famous. He was already famous before these people showed up. But, like, I think what has happened with this newfound, like, side of his audience is that he thinks the only way to be famous is by having these clips of him losing his mind. Yeah. And it's a little sad. I will say that that is a very unfortunate part of the Josh Block story, is that what has made him famous now versus what makes him famous, how he started off and what actually got him his big break, versus what keeps him in the public eye now has evolved into something that I would argue is very exploitative and very harmful.
Yeah, I think that encapsulates it perfectly, though. But again, you're not looking at the dichotomy of the audiences, because the way I was ever introduced to World of T-shirts was watching TikToks of his fans literally saying, you need to get away from Mr. Bass now. Like, you actually need to run. Yeah. And that's how I was introduced to him.
Different. it was especially different with TikTok. Again, I would argue that TikTok is definitely a lot more soy in their conversations about lolcows. It's because I think lolcowdom hasn't expanded to that part of the internet. It's been on YouTube for a very long time. TikTok and Instagram, it's like kind of a new territory, so they're kind of viewing it in a different perspective than, say, people who've been in it from the jump.
Yeah.
Like old schools. But like, I would say that like, because he is a TikTok lolcow, he comes from that spectrum of the internet. How people have encouraged Josh, or like how they talk about him or how they view him versus like, say, a YouTube lolcow like Chris Chan. It's very different because it's like, it's dependent on where the origin point of their success comes from, or like of their notoriety. Like if it comes from TikTok, a lot of people are a lot more empathetic because it's like their starting point is a part of the internet that hasn't had a lolcowdom as like a overall observation that's been there from the jump, versus on YouTube where it's been there for a really long time. Like a really long time. So it's definitely a scope of the internet where it's like how different social media apps and where these lolcows from which social media app they get big on, how people observe it. And when it comes to Josh, because he comes from TikTok, a lot of people are really empathetic actually. And people can be empathetic on YouTube too. I'm not saying that's not the case,
but there's a level of it.
There also, YouTube has been around a lot longer than TikTok, so it was there from the beginning when the internet was more of a Wild West. So there, you can't really act surprised when like old school people who remember when it was a Wild West act kind of like it still is a Wild West. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
Hilarious. Basically just egging him to chug more. A lot of trolls even take it offline, approaching him in person to solely provoke a reaction on video. The classic, put the fries in the bag, Josh. Yeah, real funny, dude. It must be said that Josh's behavior deteriorated sharply under his toxic spotlight. By 2023, nearly every TikTok he posted showed him bleary-eyed in his signature sea captain's hat, openly chugging vodka, beer, wine, whatever alcohol he could get his hands on. He started blacking out regularly. He'd wake up on trains not knowing where he was. In one video, he's so inebriated he urinates on himself while he's passed out. Just fodder for endless mockery on Reddit. He went viral for some other troubling incidents too. In a now infamous clip, Josh stomps on a live fish that someone had bizarrely gifted him as a prank, laughing while doing it too.
Before the alcoholism though. That was before the alcoholism.
Well,
the timeline's just not correct.
His timeline's not correct. This is the problem. But we'll get there.
The public outrage was immediate. He faced a massive backlash for animal cruelty. Josh apologized saying, "Okay, I'm sorry about the fish, it was wrong," but that apology was mostly ignored or disregarded, with some suspecting that he only apologized to try to get unbanned. In other cases, he's been caught on video.
That's not why. Wait, hold on. The reason why people didn't accept Josh's apology was because Josh was like, the fish was already dead when I stomped it, so it doesn't really matter. He did say the words like, "I'm sorry," but like, he wasn't really that sorry, because it's like, well, the fish is already dead, so why do people care if I stomp a fish to death when it's already dead? Like, it wasn't like that much of a genuine apology. And you could argue, yeah, he just apologized to get unbanned or whatever, but I don't even remember if the fish thing did get him banned. I don't think it did. And also, wait, no. Memories. I'm remembering this.
Yes.
The reason why he talked about the fish thing was because he used to pay people for, like, pictures and autographs and videos with them, even when they just, like, approached him out in public and just being like, they're already recording. So his biggest issue with the fish videos was that the person just posted it and, like, recorded him without paying him first.
Ah.
So that's why a lot of people thought that the apology wasn't genuine, because he's just complaining about the dude who posted the video the entire time.
Yeah.
Like, the fish was already dead, so who cares? He just gave it to me when it was already died. And also, he didn't even pay me. Usually people are supposed to pay me. It's like, that's the reason why the apology wasn't accepted, because he wasn't sorry. He was complaining about the dude who got him in trouble the whole time. That's not an apology.
Yeah.
That's just bitching about getting in trouble.
Yeah, and I mean that's the problem. And you know what's crazy? It's like, you guys haven't paid me either. There's 172 of you in here, and I don't even know how many fucking likes there are in the video. There's 31 likes. Let's get those likes up. Let's get those tips up. Let's go. Buy. Sell.
Give him money.
Oh. Listen, as long as you're honest with the shilling as a joke, it's funnier this way, in my opinion.
I love shilling. I love blasting people with bubbles when I shill. It's great.
I think it's just funnier. I think it's always been funnier to do the attempt to shill.
It's hilarious.
Yeah. It's very funny.
We are so funny. We are so
video
funny. We are
ranting and
haha.
using racial slurs, behavior that should have serious consequences. But online spectators oddly treat these incidents like part of the show, more clips to catalog under the Lolcow lore. What's often missed in these conversations is how this behavior was shaped. It's by the audience and by the vacuum of any real support. This is someone who once had structure and supervision under
Invest in Upcoin.
Yes, indeed, he invested Upcoin today.
his grandparents in school, but once becoming an adult and entering the public eye, was swept into an exploitative feedback loop of reinforcement. Without a strong social network to guide or protect him, his maladaptive behaviors were consistently rewarded with attention and novelty. If Josh hadn't become
Be careful, Fauci, you still have that Andy Ditch sales tag over there? Yeah, fucking dare. Do it, Deep Sea. Come on, I dare you. I dare you.
Do
50 gifties
it.
right now, motherfucker. Yeah, you won't
Do
do it,
it.
pussy.
internet famous, he likely would have slipped through the cracks of society, quietly struggling with addiction, mental health, and grief and obscurity. Instead, he became a sideshow attraction, spiraling for the amusement of millions. His
Wait,
grandparents were
hold up. I just want to highlight something for a second.
supervision under his grandparents in school, but once becoming an adult and entering the public eye, was swept into an exploitative feedback loop of reinforcement. Without a strong social network to guide or protect him, his maladaptive behaviors were consistently rewarded with attention and novelty. If Josh hadn't become internet famous, he likely would have slipped through the cracks of society, quietly struggling with addiction, mental health, and grief and obscurity.
But then you're highlighting that he would have still ended up the same way regardless of the internet's interaction. And I don't personally agree. Maybe the addiction side, but not the explosiveness that he is. You're now highlighting that it's the same thing.
Wait, he's saying that like he would have just been like
He just would have been a quiet drunk.
that's even worse.
That's
well, actually,
worse. It's worse in my
Not a big
opinion.
warning, but money for layer, I guess.
Hey,
Aw,
good morning, good morning. There's one of my favorite Swedes.
Aw. Dude, I think just being like, guys, it's a bad thing that he's a public drunk. It would have been better if he was just a quiet drunk.
Yes!
It's kind of a crazy thing to say, I'm not gonna lie.
Super fun.
No, granted, I don't think his drunken moments should be exploited for the world.
Yes,
I
I
think it is
agree.
embarrassing. I think it is sad. But at the same time, being like, he would have turned out the same if the internet never got to him is not true.
Yeah.
It's weird to say that he's just gonna be a drunk whether he has social media or not. It's like, could you not imagine a world where he doesn't end up that way? I think there is a world where that exists.
Yeah.
I think there's also a world that exists where he doesn't ever drink and he's still an internet like oddity. And he's still getting those street interviews in New York and just singing his little songs, and he's perfectly fine.
Okay, so reminder, Chris Chan was outed by hate watchers. By these hate watchers, this guy wants Chris Chan to have gotten away with raping. Okay, so if we're talking about his mom,
I don't think we're arguing that.
Yeah.
I think we're just saying that the
I don't think he's arguing that either. But it's sorry to cut you off, but there are a lot of people who have said that Isabella Jenkins maybe have gone too far and maybe convinced him to do something crazy.
Oh yeah, she's a fucking bitch.
There are allegedly, because I don't know enough about Chris, but there are arguments that Chris having sex with his mom, or her mom, excuse me, was not solely their idea.
Right.
And that's part of the actual problem.
Instead,
Because again,
I
I
understand.
think we've
Yeah.
argued that Chris can't, literally can't think for themselves, or argue for them most of the time.
Yeah, and your name, I know what you're saying. That's why I want to highlight it, because no, your name, you're fine. But this is why I like having the conversation with you guys, because this becomes a thing where it's like, yes, Chris is a really good example of people touching the poo in the most terrible way humanly possible. Was it their idea or not? We don't actually know. I don't think any of us know. I think Isabella Jenkins pushed the idea forward, maybe, but
I think encouraging it was probably
yes,
in the phone call that got leaked. She was just like, "Ooh," and that's not the reaction you should have to somebody having sex with their mom.
Yep. Or even entertaining the idea of it.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Became a sideshow attraction, spiraling for the amusement of millions. His grandparents will eventually pass away if they haven't already, and if the internet continues treating him like a cautionary tale instead of a person, there's going to be no one left to catch him when he falls. Nobody online should be holding Josh accountable for the behavior that they helped manufacture. By early this year, the situation had hit a new low. During a chaotic trip to Japan, bankrolled by donations from his so-called fans, Josh had a very public breakdown in Tokyo, where he was screaming in the streets and
there are people that legitimately want this guy to go places. It's always been his dream.
Yeah.
I'm
still
just
Japanese.
I think he travels even without his handlers, though. I think there was a time where he went to
I thought he went to Did he not go to? I thought he went to Korea first, but I guess Japan
He did not
first.
go to Korea. He did not go to Korea. The Japan thing I think is newer, but he did travel to Europe. He did travel to Europe at some point. And somebody like swiped his hat there, and like that was kind of a big public thing. But like he didn't have handlers at that point. He just kind of went because it was fun. Like that's what he wanted to do.
Again, people don't like when you touch the poo, and Josh is a very particular Josh is a good lolcow to use in this video, but a particular one because of the circumstances of Josh.
Police detained him for causing a disturbance. Footage of Josh's Tokyo meltdown immediately made the rounds on TMZ and Twitter, alternately treated as a comedy and a tragedy. It was the culmination of a downward spiral that the internet at large helped fuel and continues to fuel. What started as a young autistic man joyfully exploring his city turned into a grim spectacle of alcoholism, public humiliation, and while Josh should be held accountable and responsible for his own offensive actions, one can't ignore the environment that encouraged his worst tendencies for entertainment. Another upsetting example is Daniel Larson, a TikTok personality who became a full-blown lolcow case.
Okay, we're getting into Daniel Larson, chat. Here we go.
Daniel's background is already tragic. He's on the autism spectrum and has been diagnosed with schizophrenia. And for years, he's also been essentially homeless. In short, he was an extremely vulnerable person even before internet fame. During the COVID-19 pandemic, Daniel began posting bizarre and often confusing TikTok videos, where he'd sing off key, rant nonsensically, or dance oddly in public. His content was weird, yeah, but relatively harmless. However, people online latched onto Larson as a figure of ridicule, and his 15 minutes of fame as a meme never ended. Instead of fading away, he became permanent prey for trolls, who realized they could easily manipulate him. It soon came to light that Daniel had a very troubled past. People on the internet soon dug up an old video of Daniel as a child in a treatment center, a facility for children who had suffered severe abuse and trauma. In that footage, young Daniel's behavior clearly showed he had serious developmental issues and emotional scars.
So here's my issue with this video, right? And I want to highlight it. Why are you not showing the reactions of the farms or Reddits regarding these people? You're telling your audience how they reacted. What is the reaction to finding this video?
This particularly, I think, is a weird thing to bring up because, like, people kind of look upon this content. Right? I've seen this clip. This is him at the Tennyson Center, interacting with his grandma. He's doing a little interview. It's a news segment, right? And he's saying that they're like this highlights severe developmental issues and emotional scars, and that's not wrong because they're interviewing the grandma as well, who tells them about the origin point of like Daniel. But like the footage shows that like he's just playing on a swing and like interacting with his grandma, and he's saying in the Tennyson Center he's doing so much better. People look upon this and they can clearly see someone on the autism spectrum, so clearly someone with mental health issues, sure, but also they see somebody who is doing better, who's getting the help he needs. So they look at this clip and they see what he later becomes, and it's like, wow, how the fuck did that happen? Like, how do you go from having all the resources in the world to then not having those resources? And you could argue that that's a systemic failure, and it kind of is, actually.
But it absolutely is. Like, you want to know what solves the lolcow problem? I don't know. Safety nets for those who are on the spectrum, like fucking insane. Like,
them the help they need.
And there are people. And there are people in the comments. They're like, when people found this video, they felt genuinely bad, and they were like, the shock and horror is like, how the fuck did it get this bad? Like,
right.
You know what I mean? Like that's the issue. It's rough. And as and friend of the show, British Runner says, is like, there are issues with this video. We haven't even gotten to them yet.
We have failed people like this as a society. Rather than having support as adults, they slip through the cracks and get treated as subhuman. Any compassionate observer would recognize this was a person.
Whoa. He didn't slip through the cracks. He had the help. This is the video that shows that he literally had the system help. What probably happened is that like he lost a lot of that due to him being homeless, so he probably didn't have the health insurance to continue that help. And also his grandmother passed away, so that's probably it was a lot of him losing health care. Like he did. I mean, sure, you could argue that's slipping through the cracks, but like he had it. He did get the help he needed. It was just our system's shitty. Yeah. Like you need health insurance, and it's the worst thing ever. Like I don't know.
And a lot of people are highlighting like, no, he had the help, and his attitude towards it was, I'm a leave. And at that point, like what, like, because there are in certain states, involuntary commitments, there are steps to make somebody a ward of the state.
Yeah, I think at the beginning of his TikTok thing, like, when he was, like, doing, like, the interviews running for president and stuff like that, I think he was living in a group home. So I don't think he completely lost the help. I think he had it through, God, what was his name? The elder friend of his that he abused.
I'm sorry, Edgar Allan Poe, do you live where fucking Daniel Larson lives?
Well, to be fair, I don't think Daniel Larson's there anymore because he's, like, been transferred to a high security prison.
Well, yeah, no, I know. He's in the prison now.
He used to be from Colorado. He's not there anymore.
Bob Proctor? Or are we talking about Christian?
Yes.
Wait, there's two Bobs? There's another Bob?
Yeah. Well, there's another Bob named Bob Proctor who's a family friend who did help Daniel a lot. He would get him hotels. He would put him in group homes. He basically became, like, his primary care.
Yeah.
Daniel would just abuse the shit out of him, and there was a live stream that happened where he beat the shit out of Bob and accused him of trying to run him over with his car.
Yeah.
So.
Well, so Edgar Allan Poe is saying, like, they said this before, and they probably said this before in chat, but he's been terrorizing the city for years. I know he said this before, but anytime the cops would come, they'd either just let him go when they got there, or just a few days later. I mean, like that, but that does make sense though, because he isn't getting the help he needs. And
right.
So when you look at the safety nets, one of the safety nets that probably aren't there and are not available for him is to go in front of a judge and be like, listen, this guy needs committed treatment. He's a danger, not just a danger to society, he's a danger to himself and needs to be medically hospitalized for a long period of time. Yeah. And allegedly, Daniel has abused other caregivers in his lifetime. So not examining that is a problem, because you are looking at him, because the way this video is highlighting it is that he's an immaculate angel that until the internet touched him, he was schizophrenic in private.
Right. I think one of the things is that, like, if you want to make the argument when it comes to Daniel, because there are documentaries about Daniel that covers all of his internet antic. If you want to look at all of that and your final conclusion is, man, the system in Colorado fucking failed this person, that's a fine argument to make. Yeah. I would actually agree, absolutely. And kind of having Daniel Larson is kind of like a case study of, like, failures of the system.
Yeah,
is interesting. But to argue that, like, if he was never on the internet, it wouldn't have gotten as bad, I don't think I agree. I mean, the dude, if you took away his phone, I still think he would have been threatening to bomb the White House. I still think that would have happened, whether or not he had a phone or not. You know?
There's a McDonald's in the Pentagon.
There's a McDonald's in
the Pentagon. And Daniel Larson said he planted a bomb in the gun.
Person who needed professional help and structure, not torment. Disturbingly, the trolls did the exact opposite. Knowing how deeply troubled he was, they saw it as an opportunity. Larson's enablers and so-called fans began feeding his delusions and stirring him up deliberately. Fucking monsters, in my opinion. On his TikTok lives and other platforms, people would pose as supporters while giving Daniel terrible advice or false information just to see him act out. They encouraged him to engage in reckless, often illegal stunts. For example, trolls goaded Daniel into harassing strangers and causing scenes in public. He came to believe this was part of pleasing his fan base. They even worked to alienate him from real-life support.
I mean, there's probably people that goaded him, but, like, again, can you please show that? Because there are enough people that probably did not do that.
I'm pretty familiar with Daniel Larson stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't recall, like, unless if you're talking maybe Flexburger, mayhaps, and if you're talking about them encouraging the fact that he's quote-unquote famous when he's not, sure. But, like, most of the stuff that Daniel did, which was, like, assaulting people, slurring, like, cussing at them, calling people the N-word, in, what was that, a Panera Bread? Fucking just going off the handle. A lot of that's not encouraged by the trolls. A lot of that is him just genuinely having meltdowns because he believes he's a famous person who should be treated different because he's a TikTok star. Like, this, I think if you're going to say that the trolls encourage his fame, sure, but a lot of his behavior comes from the fact that he does think he's famous, probably because he has a lot of A-loggers, and that's probably where that comes from. But, like...
Yeah.
I don't remember a time where someone said, "Hey, Daniel," like in the live chat being like, "Daniel, you need to fucking punch that old man Bob Proctor." I think he just kind of did that on his own. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure a lot of this is kind of his own doing.
I think there's something very interesting. I will say this. Lazy, did you have a steel trap for this shit?
I have to find my charger. Where the fuck?
Oh no, you gotta find the charger. Let's go back into the video chat.
Fans would applaud when he lashed out at family members or burned bridges with anyone trying to help him. In multiple instances, online instigators intentionally triggered Daniel's psychotic symptoms. For instance, by validating his paranoid thoughts or telling him wild lies, purely to watch him have an on-camera...
Telling him he's famous and that he's dating Grace Vanderwall, I think is probably the example he's referring to. But...
Yes, I've heard that. But it'd be crazy. It'd be nice if you showed the example of it because it would actually matter and be more impactful for your video because, citation would be good in these instances.
Yes, please provide an example of that. I think the best example would be them saying, like, yeah, you are dating Grace Vanderwall, absolutely. But the problem is that Daniel's reactions to them encouraging his behavior is beyond what I would consider normal.
It's time.
It is time.
What do you mean it's time? What's it time for?
Remember.
What's time? Oh, it's I love the stars too fondly. That I know what's happening. There you go. It's time. I'm already opening it. I already know what I love the stars too fondly every time. I love the stars too fondly is very funny. They will always donate in sets.
Oh, I see.
Always.
To feed the pupper.
Money.
Yes, it is! Everybody, it's time to feed that dog. You've hit another goal!
We did it!
And yes, chat, that means you have hit another goal. That means you also win another goal. Here at the Op Block, if it's your first time here on this stream, what we do is we feed that dog every time we hit another dono goal. So we get that feed that dog. Feed that doggo. Doggo. And I do sing a song.
Sing the song.
It's time to feed the puppers. It's time to give her treats. It's time to feed the dog now. On the Op Block stream tonight. Yes, everybody, it's time to feed that dog. Oh, look at her. Look at her sit up. Okay.
Anyways, what I was saying is that I feel like Daniel Larson reacts to people encouraging his delusions in a way that I would consider more of his own doing than, say, the trolls. Like, I don't think the trolls are saying, like, yeah, we affirm that you're a celebrity, but no one's telling Daniel Larson to pull the fire alarm at Olive Garden. No one's telling him to loudly scream the N-word at a black person in a Panera Bread. That's kind of his own doing at that point.
Yeah.
Could you argue that he wouldn't have had that bad of a reaction if, say, nobody encouraged him? Sure, but, like, a lot of people don't. Like, a lot of people are like, hey, man, gotta chill out. Like,
I think that's pretty much it. It's just rough.
I find including Daniel a very interesting inclusion because in a lot of ways you can make that argument, you can make that conclusion, like, a lot of this is a systemic failure, but to say that, like, a lot of Daniel's actions wouldn't be as bad if it weren't for the internet is ignorant. Like, I don't think you know who Daniel Larson is. The man is a literal pedophile. Like, I don't think you understand.
Let's see if he mentions the pedophile angle.
Yeah, please do!
Those breakdowns, of course, would be screen recorded and spread as memes shortly after. It's hard to imagine a more cruel form of trolling, essentially weaponizing someone's mental illness for viral content. This campaign of provocation eventually pushed Daniel across a legal line.
My mic was peaking? Weird. My mic doesn't usually peak.
What's the legal line?
Like people making a fake Grace and making fake college courses are making things worse.
I mean, yeah, but I feel like the fake college course was kind of harmless because that was just kind of funny. Like, nothing really predatory or, like, destructive happened with the fake colleges. It was just kind of funny to have him in a call-in saying, like, he's a pedophile over and over again without him realizing it. I would argue that, like, the fake Graces, yes, are harmful because it fuels into him being a stalkerish, whatever, and making threats against his lives and others for the sake of Grace, but I argue that the fake colleges were just kind of for fun. Like, nothing really bad came out of the fake colleges. It kept him off of real college campuses, that's for damn sure.
Egged on by some malicious fans, Daniel started to believe grandiose and delusional stories, including that he had some high-stakes mission to become a president and that he was being threatened by government entities. In mid-2023, he began posting threats that he was going to do violent things, apparently under the belief that it was necessary or that he was being instructed somehow. He posted videos ranting about plans to bomb the White House and other government buildings and threatening an FBI agent. Utterly alarming stuff. It's unclear if he truly understood what he was saying, though. Schizophrenia plus the troll influence is a dangerous mix, but the threats were taken seriously by authorities. In May 2024, federal agents arrested Daniel Larson, and he was charged with multiple counts related to threatening to use explosives. A judge ordered that he remain in custody pending trial, explicitly noting that Larson's mental health issues and homelessness made the situation especially volatile. The judge recognized that Daniel had no stable life and was acting out largely due to mental illness. Daniel was clearly both a victim of his circumstances and a danger because of how far things had escalated. It's important to stress that Larson is not blameless in this whole scenario. Making violent
Okay. Let's see where he goes, chat. Let's see where he goes.
Threats is a crime, and he's got to face those consequences. But it is also painfully clear that online agitators poured gasoline on that fire. We can clearly see that his audience deliberately played into his delusions and egged him on until it went way over the edge. People who knew full well that he was schizophrenic and autistic kept winding him up for their amusement, like it was a long-term reality show, some fucked up version of The Truman Show. Some even justified it by pointing out that Daniel had exhibited inappropriate or disturbing behavior. But to whatever extent Daniel had problematic tendencies, the response of turning his life into a 24/7 circus only made everything worse. Even if he was a danger, turning him into an internet punching bag did nothing to protect anyone. It just turned serious red flags into laughing matters. No matter how reprehensible a person is, onslaughts of relentless trolling are not justice. It's just harassment, and they take away the seriousness of any actual allegations against these people by making it fodder for jokes. The Daniel Larson saga is a prime example of the mental health crisis we currently have in America.
Okay.
That is true. But are you gonna mention he's a pedophile? Are you gonna bring that up at all? You said inappropriate behavior. Please be specific. Please, I'm begging you.
Let him cook. The section might not be over yet.
Rather than receiving the care he desperately needed.
Listen.
Please.
Actually,
no.
Actually, no, we can't see. You don't show us. Show not tell.
Wait.
He was left to spiral on the internet until it got to a point where nobody was laughing anymore. Alrighty, no discussion of Lolcows would be complete without Christine.
Wow, okay, he doesn't bring it up. Never mind.
So, for those who don't know, Daniel Larson is a pedophile.
He's a pedophile. And I'm not saying that he's incorrect in his assertion, like, you know, how abhorrent someone is, they shouldn't get harassment. True, sure, I agree. Problem, he's a pedophile. You didn't even bring that up. You didn't even bring that up.
Counter argument, convicted pedophile.
Like, sir, I don't think you understand why the harassment happens.
Yeah,
I
there's
think
like
exploring that is very important, because if someone's getting harassed for something stupid, like say Josh Block didn't become an alcoholic and he was just a weirdo on the internet, right? Say that didn't happen. If he was still getting relentlessly harassed, I would be like, guys, you're being rude. Like, there's really no reason to harass this guy beyond him making little TikToks of him singing in New York, concrete jungles where dreams are made of. But there's a reason why people would harass Daniel Larson. It's because he's kind of the worst thing you can be in society.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to kick someone down for harassing a pedophile. I know that probably makes me a bad person, but I'm like, hey man, if you hurt children, I kind of don't care what happens to you.
Yeah, and there's like I don't know the whole Daniel Larson story. That'll probably be another goal. It won't be a 50 gifties because it's not like a 40. It's
Make
not like
it high. Make it really, really high.
Or maybe I'll make it 50 gifties just for fucking. Oh, you know what? To be fair, you know what? Fuck it. We did it for Pamper Chew. We did do it for Pamper Chew. So here's what I will do. Since I love each and every one of you, I will add another 50 gifties goal.
You should stop loving
50
oh my god.
Gifties. Daniel Larson. There you go, chat. Remember, you always get to choose your 50 gifties goal, by the way.
Gene Weston Chandler. Better.
Yeah, and just to highlight it, I do think that it's not a good idea to leave out the fact that he is a convicted pedophile, because what you're doing is just saying, oh, it was just them telling him that that he needed to bomb the White House. Yeah, he got arrested for terroristic threats, but
also I would again argue he would have made those threats regardless of the internet because he's a schizophrenic. Like, you're saying that the internet like egged on a lot of his delusions. He's delusional with or without the internet.
Yeah.
There were times where Daniel didn't have access to the internet and he still did crazy shit, still terrorized people, still did it all without the influence of the internet. Like, it's just having him on the internet, and I've seen this argument before. People are like, it's good that their antics are being recorded on the internet so that we can at least keep track of where he's at. So, like, because if he's that much of a public menace, then people can be aware and be known to, like, stay away. Or, like, at the very least, they can build a case against him if he were to face, like, consequences for those actions, right? Like, it's better to have them under a microscope and to rest assured that, like, if he does something crazy, at least it'll be recorded and at least people will know and at least people can forward it to police, than, say, just ignoring him and pretending he doesn't exist, even though he's a public threat. Like, you know, and I've seen that argument and I kind of agree, but it depends. Like, if it really is dependent, like Daniel Larson is a prime example of where that is very helpful.
Yeah.
Where keeping track of them probably does help in regards to, like, because Daniel Larson would randomly just assault people. Like, it's not, like, usually knowing where crazy people who are prone to violence are in public is good for the safety and protection of other people in public.
Yeah, and I think that the chat really makes like a really good argument for a lot of this stuff. Is just that, like, we're not helping, like, obviously we're not helping him, but at the same time, like, if Daniel is doing the things sans in people's involvement with him, what are we gonna do? Like, it's been the issue, and if you don't bring up all of the facts, you are leaving an audience thinking incorrect thoughts about these individuals, and then, like, when they go for it, when they go and look at it, it's a problem. It's why getting, okay, I'm gonna bring it back for something for those who don't remember my Vincent Martin debate. It's why including facts and the story and a timeline matters, because without it, you forget key factors that impact people's decision making. Or why they withhold the real reasons why they make decisions. I'm not saying that it's in these instances, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to argue that you feel bad for Daniel Larson, yeah. I mean, I do in a lot of case scenarios, because, I mean, I understand he's schizophrenic and he's autistic. I understand that, like, his struggles are not the same as mine. Therefore, I feel bad because I would never experience to that level of mental insanity. I will never get to that point. I mean, who knows? You know, maybe something will happen to me. But, like,
don't say that. Don't crash out. Do not crash out.
I'm not gonna crash out. I'm saying, like, what caused schizophrenia? Like, head injuries, shit? I don't know. I could get in a car accident.
How old are you?
I'm 24.
Late term schizophrenia in women. I believe are you the right age for schizophrenia?
I don't know.
I don't remember. I know it's later in women than men. Men, it's a little bit earlier. I think women, it's like 24 to 27. I can't remember.
I mean, I used to get, like I had such bad anxiety to a point I used to hear voices when I was super hyper stressed out. But I don't know if that's ever schizophrenia. I think that was just, to be completely honest with you, I think that was probably imposter syndrome.
I think I know, like, that's also, like, accusatory stuff. Yeah, women are late 20s to early 30s. So you still have time for schizophrenia. Yeah! You still have time. Let's go.
I can't wait for my schizo arc chat. Let's go.
Well, if you have it just depends.
Handler, better known on the internet as Chris.
You'd be way less cool.
Or you'd be funnier. Listen,
maybe it might be funnier.
The schizophrenia might make you funnier. You don't know.
So
Christine
true.
is perhaps the most infamous lolcow in internet history, an individual so heavily trolled and documented that some have called her one of the most documented people in existence.
Okay.
Her story is so long and tragic, but a brief overview shows just how far this lolcow phenomenon has gone. Christine, who is autistic and also identifies
Cosimo the Bard with a 5.
That can be OCD, intrusive thoughts, or that can be a manic episode, bipolar I, lazy.
Or depression. Some levels of depression and anxiety do induce, like, accusatory thoughts as well. You can have accusatory thoughts.
I have psychosis. The psychosis is killing me. Ah!
Fucking
As a
insane.
transgender woman, first became known to the
I
internet
am.
forums in the late 2000s due to her eccentric homemade comics about Sonichu, Pikachu and Sonic mashed up. She was originally a small-time creator posting cringy content, but unfortunately, sites like 4chan and Encyclopedia Dramatica picked up on her as an object of ridicule. This was essentially the birth of the term Lolcow. In 2009, a forum called the CWC Wiki was launched specifically to catalog every little detail of Christine's online life. Users on the wiki obsessively archived every drawing, video, blog post, tweet, or purchase that Chris Chan ever made, and it wasn't just passive archiving either. These trolls actively interfered in her life. According to reports, members of that forum hacked into her accounts, leaked personal emails and documents, and even stalked her in real life to snap candid photos and recordings. All of this was done to provide more milk to the Lolcow community hungry for the Chris Chan content. By
Yes, Lazy, I see you mewing over there.
My partner is not feeling well. Are you all right, my dear?
No!
No.
Allergy season.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, I got that.
That sucks. Huh? Oh yeah, I should probably switch over to the phone and let you take over.
I'd appreciate it.
Okay. You're very welcome, my dear. I will be back, Jack. I will arrive soon enough. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Lazy Bedhead will be right back, chat. But remember, chat, before Lazy comes back, please remember to like and subscribe to the Op Block today. We love having our available friends and family of the Op Block community coming on, doing the doobly-doo things, offering their color commentary. Lazy's a really good friend of mine. I have really gotten the lovely chance to get them to know them a lot better. It's been really, really nice to get to talk to them a lot about some of this stuff, so it's really, really cool. Oh my gosh.
He always mentions the autism, NGL, it's offensive.
I mean, it's, yes, Lord Rush. Well, the idea is because he believes specifically that DSP and Wings and by proxy Boogie, I'll include Boogie, do not get the same level of harassment because of the fact that they are neurotypical in some fashion. That is his argument. That is part of the problem because he's only looking at is those three people would not be in like some type of assisted living or group home setting, and that's part of the problem. That is his thesis statement that the Lolcows that he wishes to speak about specifically face the level of harassment immediately because that they have those issues. Also, as a side note, chat, because I've seen the conversation. You guys can say the R word in chat. I don't personally give a shit. Just because I don't use it doesn't mean you cannot. Yeah, this isn't true because DSP has the largest troll community in the history. Yes, I know. I fucking know. That's like, it's why spending such a little amount of time on DSP is insane. Oh my God, Fauci's giving us the pass. You guys always had the pass. I don't use it. Just because I don't use it doesn't mean that you guys... Yes, guys, you can use it. I don't give a shit. I've always said this. I don't care. Especially, like, listen, there was always a fucking fight. This is not accounting in YouTube, by the way, Abyssal, if that's the question. This is Muckhole. This is not accounting in YouTube. We probably will not get to... we probably won't get to that video today because we probably won't get to the Innuendo Studio stuff today. We'll probably do it next time. The reason being is I have to wake up early because I got to take Leia to a boarding facility because she is going to be spending time away, specifically because Claudia and I have a wedding. And it's like an all weekend wedding. So I do have to take her tomorrow. So she's okay at the doggy hotel. They have to meet with her and all those kinds of things. But yes, you know, it's these conversations about Lolcows is very interesting because one of the when we went over the user community, I feel very interested by that, where the user community is something where it goes on the spectrum of amazingly wholesome autism to going on the opposite side of the spectrum of like the incest song. So like it is so like it's like treating autism I think this is what it is. If I had to make the argument, treating autism as a monolith is not a good thing. It's really, really not a good thing. It's inherently a really bad thing, in my opinion. It's almost like it's fucking insane to treat autism like a fucking monolith. That's all I'm gonna say. Lazy. You know what? Lazy's probably taking care of the partners, so we're gonna like kind of continue on with the video, and then we'll go from there.
2015, the CWC wiki had evolved into what we now know as the Kiwi Farms. Kiwi Farms broadened its scope to target any lolcow, not just Christine, but she remains a central figure on the site. For over a decade, Christine was subjected to...
You know what this is, chat? I always say this. This is the regressive progressive idea. This is the idea that you're being so woke, you are inadvertently being some type of ist or ism. Because again, it's again, we're fucking here again. We're here by fucking. I hate to get a t-shirt that just says the regressive progressive. I fucking hate it so much every fucking time. It's just every time. And I get it, but it's like you have to learn to be beyond that. You got to learn to be beyond it and realize that people are responsible for their own fucking actions. Because when they're not, when you take that away from them, it gives people an excuse to act out. Talk your shit, soy boy. Talking my shit is 50 gifties. 50 gifties, chat!
Relentless trolling. Pranksters posed as online sweethearts to earn her trust and embarrass her. Catfishers tricked her into doing humiliating things on camera, and bullies constantly fed her false information to watch her react. Christine, due to her...
This is true about Chris. People did interact with Chris inappropriately. This is correct.
Autism and other mental health challenges often couldn't discern genuine friends from trolls, which only made it more tragic when they would...
Cosimo, I am not woke. Lord, am I not fucking woke. By any means of the imagination. See, this is the legit argument. This, like, people were actively shitty to Chris. It's why even Null stepped in at a time. Will Muckhole mention that Null stepped in?
Later
Oh my god, no.
I had to see Chris's duck. It was awful.
Lazy, you're back on the air. Welcome back.
I am back. I apologize for leaving chat. I had to wife out. It was very important. My husband has come back from war.
Well, you know what? I'm glad. Well, he has the typhoid fever, I hear.
I mask on and I told him that is no. I'm like, what happened? He's like, my allergies, and I'm like, it doesn't look like allergies. It looks like you're dying. What? You look like you got COVID. What the hell happened? We're only gone for 8 hours.
Oh well.
And now you get crusty Mike. Everybody, congratulations.
It's okay. They've gotten crusty Mike before.
Later publish her private conversations and make a mockery of her heartfelt confessions. This all reached a horrifying climax in 2021.
Anyways,
in August of that year.
Okay, we're at Isabella Jenkins. So this is a reasonable. We are at the reasonable argument. He's okay. So to be fair, Muckhole has swapped back and forth on pronouns.
Has he?
Yeah, he has called Chris he and she.
I don't know what it is either. Nobody knows. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I will respect the she. If she identifies as she, that is all. Listen, I can give a fuck less. I know that there's also the argument: did Chris transition for correct reasons? Was she convinced to transition? It's a whole big thing.
Listen, all I know is that I am not the dictator of how anyone identifies. I identify as an elf bitch. What right do I have? But you know,
I know Chris has admitted to wanting to get, quote, lesbians. I know.
I also want to get lesbians, so I can't blame them, to be fair.
Real and true and based.
An audio recording leaked online in which Christine seemingly admitted to committing incest. Specifically, she talked about a sexual encounter with her own elderly mother who suffers from dementia. The moment it hit the forum, it exploded across the internet. Within days, Christine Chandler was arrested and charged with a felony. The news made international headlines with many people asking, how did things get to this point? While ultimately, Christine is responsible for her actions. If the allegations are true, it's impossible.
What do you mean? If the allegations are true, she got convicted.
Yeah,
if they're not allegations, she got convicted. She went to jail.
She got arrested. She had a trial. She went to jail. I don't know what you mean by alleged. If and to be fair, I mean, I understand it, like, because a lot of people were kind of predicting at the time before of obviously the trial happened, that like maybe Isabella Janke convinced them into saying this about their mom when it never really happened, and they were just trying to like say it to be cool, right?
Yeah,
and I can see that. The problem is that Chris has had the weirdest relationship with their mom, and also Chris is too bluntly honest.
Yes.
Like, there's a lot of things that they have revealed to the internet that are embarrassing, that are personal things that they should have never revealed, that no one should know about. And we know it's true because, like, he would either show us or, like, he would, like, display, like, what was it? What was the thing? A good example of that would be, fucking the crush, the orange crush thing, if you know what I'm talking about.
I have no idea.
Falgi, I'm so sorry I'm about to tell you this.
Why? Yeah, a lot of people are also saying Fanta recycling. What the fuck does Fanta recycling mean? Did
Falgi,
Chris put it in their ass?
Falgi, do you want me to tell you? Because it's not fun.
I just fucking tell me. I don't get disgusted.
Falgi, Chris had this idea, this concept. I don't know if the trolls instilled this in him or if he actually believed this just on his own. I don't honestly remember. Chris believed that he's one of those people that believes that like his sperm should be used for procreation. Like any like non-use of it is bad. Like he's one of those Christians. Like one of those.
Okay.
So he believed that when you jack off, that you have to recycle that or else it gets wasted. So what he used to do is he used to jack off into Fanta and then drink it.
Okay, that's not that bad.
What do you mean that's not that bad?
So now I'm going to tell you a story.
Oh God.
So there is a person from Commentary Hell called Echo of Tragedy. You don't know who Echo of Tragedy is, so I'm going to explain it to you because I had to learn who Echo of Tragedy was. Echo of Tragedy was a Commentary Hell person who
what is Commentary Hell?
Oh, it's a whole subset. It would take too much time to discuss the subset of Commentary Hell. I'm actually going to lower this so I'm not too bright because I am like,
you are white as a ghost.
I am overly bright because my white balance is getting fucked right now. So Echo of Tragedy, aside from leaking multiple implicit photos in a Discord of women in and around the lower part of the commentary community, which was disgusting, by the way, was lying about being in a throuple with a commentary person who is also a sex worker. And one of the things he would do, yes, Lord Rush, here we go. This is an Echo of Tragedy. You will hear it now.
This is an Echo of Tragedy.
So what he would do is ejaculate into Twinkies and Jell-O and then finish by eating it.
Oh.
So.
All right. Well, guys, what do you know what? No, we're gonna make this a poll. We're gonna make this. What do you think is more disturbing? What I just said or what Fauci just said? It better be what I just said.
No,
I need this motherfucker to win.
I told you.
Which one is worse, the Twinkies or the Fanta? Please leave your.
It's the I think the Twinkies is less bad. There's no way the Twinkies are less bad. At least you can drink the fucking sperm down. You ruined the Twinkies.
If I had a nickel.
You people are crazy.
God.
Yeah, like Vile says, at least the cum gets diluted in the Fanta. Now, it's a protein, so when it meets liquid, it gets a little jelly. That's actually like a thing. But like,
I hate you. I hate you so much. I hate you.
It does. I mean, that's true though. That is absolutely true. But like,
God. Okay.
And the Jello, are you not? It's jiggling with the cum on top. What are you doing?
You need to stop. You need to stop. God, you're disgusting. I don't know what's worse. You know what? Maybe this guy actually does have a point. Maybe we are actually the problem.
No matter which, we all lose.
Everyone's so upset.
God damn it.
Bro, I'm unsubscribing Lamau.
The white inside the green Jello.
God damn it.
Yes, Yandev with his cum chalice enters the room.
Musical Lolcows, who would they be?
A musical Lolcow? Technically Cyrax. Cyrax would be a musical Lolcow.
Yeah.
Oh, this is true.
So much money
Here is
after
money
this.
to stop Fauci.
Oh, I love you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's get back to the video.
Oh, this is so funny.
Oh my god.
I love that mentioning cum gets you more donations.
Doesn't Diesel have a CVM cookbook?
He does have a cum
What?
cookbook, yes.
What?
It was a meme. He also saw Nikocado Avocado's OnlyFans for research. Distressed, thank you for resubscribing.
Yay!
I love you, man. Thank you so much. That
so
Distressed, I'm not gonna lie. I love you for that one. That was one
Dude,
of the.
there's so many
Now I
donations.
have to explain to wifey why I'm dry heaving and that you've ruined Twickies and Jello for me forever.
To be fair, Twinkies were disgusting. Twinkies never actually tasted good.
Oh,
We
no,
all
they
just
never
lied.
tasted good.
It was a generational gaslight.
Yes, I will tell Diesel that he's a recycler the next time he goes on stream. We will all tell Diesel the next time he streams that he is a recycler.
Dude, I can't believe mentioning cum gets you this many donations. We should talk about cum more.
I'm a whore. That's why.
Possible to ignore that years of trolling set the stage for this disaster. Trolls had conditioned her to trust random internet people and do what they said. Actually, the leaked incest audio came about because a troll encouraged Christine to talk about what she'd done in a call, likely hoping to generate the most shocking content possible, with little regard to any consequences. Kiwi Farms users then disseminated that call widely, under the thin justification.
God, this is the greatest clip of all time, unironically.
I love Chris Chan's dad. I love that he is just a really short version of Chris Chan.
And mad that his
Like,
son.
in body
at the
structure
time.
and everything. It's crazy.
Oh.
That they were exposing a crime, but one can't help but see the voyeuristic glee in how it was handled. As Business Insider noted, Kiwi Farms originated from Christine's saga and still devotes enormous threads to cataloging her life. In other words, it's a community about discussing eccentric people who voluntarily make fools of themselves. The Christine Chan case shows how naive that description actually is, though. She didn't volunteer to have every private moment of her life leaked and dissected by—
No, she volunteered a lot of it, though.
Yeah, no, what are you talking about? She didn't volunteer. Yes, she did. She literally, okay, Encyclopedia Dramatica made an entire, I'm gonna let this, no, god damn it.
Can we replace the CVM cookbook with another anarchist cookbook?
No, Bossums, no!
I'm gonna replace it with whatever the cookbook was for fucking King Cobra. King Cobra's cookbook. That's what we're replacing it with.
Yeah.
Anyways, my point was, Encyclopedia Dramatica made an entire ED page about Chris Chan, right? Chris found out about it and realized and was confused why it had so much misinformation, as they put it.
Yeah.
So what they ended up doing was getting access to edit their own ED page and decided to post the entirety of their life
that's
to
not good.
ED.
Rocky BB became a member. Rocky BB celebrates 8 months of membership. Doesn't Pappy have an
Nice.
Illuminati plush in a jar?
Yes, he does. Poppy does have the Illuminati. It's a running gag.
And even though I'm on the West Coast, I'm a tasty cake kind of person. Give me a brother scotch, crimple. Crimp it any day. One of my best friends was from Jersey. That's how I know.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Anyway, my point is that when he says that they didn't volunteer their entire life to the internet, yes, they did. Because what they ended up doing was what is called an information overload, where they just put their entire life from start to finish, their entire timeline onto ED. Like, a lot of things that we know about Chris, a lot of their personal things was from Chris themselves. So this idea that, like, oh, they never volunteered their lives to be dissected by the internet. Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Yes, they did. What are you talking about? Like, you don't understand how much this person was willing to share. Like, they shared intimate moments between their own parents at one point. It's, dude.
I'm gonna press play after that. Thank you.
Thousands of strangers. She was targeted precisely because she was an easy target, a mentally vulnerable person whose worst moments could be milked for endless laughs. It's worth noting that Christine's life has been utterly ruined by this cycle. She spent over a year in jail awaiting trial, was shunned by most of her former acquaintances.
Okay, but the former acquaintances being null. The owner of Kiwi Farms.
Who? I don't think Christine, like, aside from the trolls, had really any friends. Like, maybe there were some, like, once it became, like, a transgender person and, like, you know, maybe they had some LGBTQ friends that they met on the internet. Because I remember there was that. But I don't really think Christian actually had any real genuine friends. I'm going to be so for real. So, like, what consequences did Christine really receive?
Ethan Ralph, best friend of Christian.
Oh my fucking god.
Ethan Ralph gets the Xanax and cocaine from Christian.
This is a fucking matchup made in
Chris is the plug. Chris is the real plug.
Yeah, I don't understand, like, the observation of, like, how, like, being sent to jail is such a bad thing when, like, dude, they confessed to a crime.
So a lot of people are referencing Megan. Megan was a friend that Chris chased off because of her pervertedness.
Yeah, and by this point in the story with the incest arc, Megan was long gone anyway, so it doesn't really matter at this point.
But I mean, that's a good example of Chris doing that.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, okay. I guess I would consider Megan a friend. Yeah, for sure. But Chris doesn't. I say Chris doesn't have any friends because, like, when Chris does have friends, he just kind of scares them away.
He has the.
I love them.
Blue Yokai, you also unsubscribed and resubscribed? You're my fucking moderator.
That's funny.
And to this day remains a figure of infamy. The trolls often rationalize their obsession as a kind of dark comedy legend. Christine was treated as a caricature, not a human being with real emotions or pain. But behind the sensational headlines is someone with autism who desperately needed help and intervention years prior. Instead, she got internet fame of the most toxic variety. Her story serves as both the origin of Lolcow culture and a giant red warning flag of how devastating that culture can be. By now, a picture should be forming of just how exploitative and cruel Lolcow culture is. In each case, we see a vulnerable person's life turned into a public circus. The psychological toll of this is hard to overstate. Targets of sustained online ridicule experience astronomical impacts on their mental health. Depression, anxiety, and psychotic breakdowns are common among Lolcows as they endure seesawing feedback. One minute, a flood of praise from fake fans, and the next minute, a wave of hate and mockery. Some of these individuals already had mental health challenges to begin with. Autism, schizophrenia.
I find his examples really interesting.
Yeah.
I agree with the Josh Block one, to an extent. The other two, he leaves out a lot of the context that a lot of the things they've done are really bad. And it's with Christian, it wasn't just fucking his mom. It was like, to mention for Megan, he sexually harassed her. Like, he literally drew porn of her. Like, it was very uncomfortable, and then posted it to the internet to prove that he wasn't gay. He drew porn of his best friend because he felt offended that people thought that he wasn't heterosexual enough. As a woman, I would be incredibly offended and uncomfortable if one of my male friends who kept getting accused of being gay decided, I'm going to prove that I'm not gay by drawing lazy bedhead ass and tits up. Like,
that was a statement I didn't need in my brain.
Thanks. You're welcome.
Thank you. I would never draw you ass and tits up.
Actually, I don't even think that's physically possible. I think I'd be a pretzel. Point is, these people are bad people.
Yeah.
They're bad people.
It's bad. But again, like, but I think so. So here's my this is not my argument. I think it would be fine to use Chris and Josh as examples in this and showing that specifically starting with Chris and the history of Kiwi Farms, how, you know, went from CWC to Kiwi Farms, and how, you know, Chris did interact inappropriately, as, you know, in and outside, and how Chris, you know, gave a lot, because it's also leaving out Liquid Chris. It's leaving out a lot of lore of Chris that didn't even exist on the farms at that point. Chris was also like, there was trolls on just a YouTube that were sans the farms. And then you lead into a new age version of that, which would be, in my opinion, I think Josh is a really good example of that, showing, listen, here's Josh, here's the TikTok version of that. TikTok doesn't really have the chill. You see that in both examples, you see people wanting help for them and them denying it. With Chris, it's null. And when Null found out about Mom, Blue Yokai.
What a terrible day to be a woman named Megan, smiling face with tear emoji.
Thank you. But when Null found out about Chris and his mom, he pulled it back. He said, and found out about how Chris was spending. Like, he was like, no, I'm not fucking doing this anymore. I'm not supporting you. And then with Josh, you identify the fact that, yes, Josh has really bad influences with his former manager and currently with Mr. Based, but there are people that have attempted to reach out. There are times where Josh has attempted to be sober and then immediately relapses. Yes, you could say his bad influences, but there is a community that has attempted to get Josh help. And that interaction isn't there, where they're trying to do that because they can't get close enough to him. And even when they do, he does deny the help. If you can, that is in my opinion, thank you, don't worry about it for subscribing. In my opinion, that's a better way to write the video, because you show Chris and the issues, and then you show Josh and the issues, and you present the case. Let's hope that Josh doesn't go the way of Chris, where the story ends in jail.
Right. And I think there's also another thing that should be noted as well. When you post things to the internet, they are subjected to, because the internet is a big public space. It's basically the public sphere of opinion where everyone comes to kind of ogle and talk and whatever. Yeah. When you post something to the internet, it is subjected to the public opinion. Saying that these people, because they're autistic, they shouldn't be subjected to public opinion is a little dumb, because it's like, what do you just expect us to do? Be like, guys, he's autistic. We just should never commentate on anything they do ever, even though they're posting it publicly to the internet. Like, it would be one thing. Josh is a good example of like an exploitation, because a lot of the things that Josh does doesn't even happen on his own TikTok account. It happens on his handler's live streams on Twitch.
Yeah.
I think Josh is a great video example of an exploitation kind of thing, especially for this guy's coverage. I think it does come from a really good place, and he does make a really good point. The other two, all of this shit is happening on their own platforms that they publicly agreed to when they read the terms of service to start up and to start posting. To say that like they publicly that they're not responsible for at least some of the things that they post publicly, when it's on their accounts, when it's them pressing the record button, when it's them acknowledging a public audience of strangers, and they know that their audience is a bunch of strangers from the public perception that is viewing what they're seeing as like a public thing and not a private moment. It's not fair to say like, oh, all these people are like exploiting this person. It's like, well, they're the ones that are exploiting themselves. They're the ones that are putting themselves out there on the internet.
Yeah.
It's what this is. This would be a better video if it's like a lot of Lolcows do not understand the consequences of the internet. They are not well equipped to understand what happens when you make yourself a public figure. That would be a much better video than to just collectively say the internet's the problem. It's like, sure, you could make argument of certain internet cultures are problematic, absolutely, and that would be probably a much better video to be like, you know, certain things that we do as an internet culture is probably problematic, sure, but the big grandiose thing with it is just like, these are public individuals, and people have the right to talk about things that people do in the public eye, especially if it's Daniel Larson, where they're a public nuisance and a public threat, especially like for the sake of public safety. I think it would be kind of important to talk about the pedophile who is assaulting people in the streets.
Schizophrenia, past trauma, to name a few, and the constant harassment makes it exponentially worse. It's a vicious cycle. The more they're bullied, the more they act out or deteriorate, which then provides more content for the bullies to laugh at. It's a bit like watching someone slowly lose their grip on reality while a crowd cheers for more. For the troll communities and content creators, there's a disturbing lack of empathy, and I hate using that term because of our friend iDubbbz, but many justify their actions with a sense of moral correctness or righteousness. They claim they're holding the law.
Again, you don't show an example of it at all.
Dude, if you have an issue with how a lot of people like who make the content, like the the documentary style stuff, and you really do have an issue with these people having no empathy, then I would highly encourage people watch Hi, I'm Wonder. Wonder makes great content. I'll let the thing.
Damn lazy, you should make videos.
Yeah, damn lazy, you should make videos.
I'll get back to it. I have to finish the EPs. I have to finish those. The Voidlings. I must finish the Patreon Voidlings. Anyway, again, I would highly encourage you watch Wonder's videos. They are very empathetic. They're very kind, and they're not doing it for the sake of being morally righteous and grandstanding, being like, I'm going to be a good person and talk nice. No, he genuinely seems like he does care. Like, it's not like an act. Like, I genuinely do feel like he comes from a place of understanding.
He's unpersoning everyone with autism.
Yeah, I would agree. I wouldn't necessarily say he's unpersoning. I think what I think Muckhole is trying to do, and I'll be charitable because he is being a little wokey soy boy and doing the regressive progressive thing, is he's trying to what I think what he's attempting to do is to identify that those on the spectrum as well as those with mental health conditions are incredibly at risk. He is infantilizing them because I think the end point of the conversation is society should do a better job at taking care of these individuals and people like them. The problem is that it does detract from their own actions.
Right. And also, I just think that, like, for when it comes to all of this, right, I think this guy, I don't hate this content. I think they're coming from a good place.
Yeah.
Genuinely.
Yeah.
I think their arguments are sound. I don't think they're saying it just be like an over righteous soy boy or whatever the fuck. I do think it does come from, like, maybe pointing out how there are certain problematic things in, like, this sort of content creation space of Lolcow commentary. Mm-hmm. And I agree, like, even as somebody who makes, you know, my bizarre bedhead adventure Lolcow shit, I do kind of have like a moral, like my heart's torn, right? It's like, I'm really interested in these characters of the internet. I think understanding how they got to the point they are, understanding them as people, is a very good conversation to have. I think it's the direction that, like, you know, we should go into as Lolcow things, but I also understand, like, not everyone's going to adhere to that. Most people will just want to laugh at a train wreck, and that's, you know, their prerogative. I'm going to continue doing my own thing of dissecting, kind of psychoanalyzing as I do. And yeah, my heart's a little torn. Like, I don't disagree with this person at all. I think, you know, they make pretty sound points. I think the problem is that, like, they don't give good examples of how things went too far, and they're leaving out a lot of context as to why these certain Lolcows, the ones that they specifically picked out, get the sort of reaction they do. Daniel Larson gets the reaction he does because he's a pedophile, because people think he's a public threat and a nuisance. Yeah. Christian gets what they get because they're not a good person. Like, most of these people who are, like, public specters of the internet, you could make, I think the better argument would be, do they deserve this sort of infamy, right? If they're bad people, do they deserve this kind of, like, because on the internet, when what is that saying? There's no such thing as bad publicity. There's no such thing as, like, bad fame. Like, fame is fame. The argument of, like, should we be giving any of these people any of this attention and any of this infamy at all if they're such a bad person? That would probably be even a better argument for this video, because it's like, yeah, why are we giving bad people this much attention? Why are we even bothering? They should just fade away because they're awful human beings, you know?
Right.
But also, like, there's a lot of awful human beings in the world, and, like, sometimes highlighting how they're terrible and bad and why they should be known as a bad person, I don't think makes you a bad person. I think, you know, being like, hey, this is bad is pretty good. It's usually isn't, like, it's just, you know, giving an opinion. It doesn't make you a bad human being.
Yeah. I mean, that's all we can do is, like, really identify that. That's just, there's nothing, there's not a lot you can do with it outside of that. You just kind of have to, like, learn how to deal with it. You just have to, I don't know, you just gotta have to learn how to move through it. And that's all you can really do. Yeah, it's just I don't know. It's a tough sell. It really is like a tough sell. It's a very difficult sell, and you kind of just have to realize that like it's not always going to be perfect.
Right. I think there's like obviously like a middle ground here. Like I think he's on the one side of the extreme where he's like all of this shit's bad. There's no redeeming quality to talking about oddities. It's just all exploitative. And then there's the other side of the extreme where it's like I don't care if this person's autistic. I don't care. They deserve all the ridicule I give them, even worse. Yeah. And I think we end up kind of it's best to end up somewhere in the middle. Oh my God.
Was up all my censor
Access, you motherfucker. You fucking asshole. Fucking friend of the channel, Access. I think, there's a point here. He's just using bad examples and extremes. Yes. And I do think that glossing over specifically Daniel Larson's pedophilia is incredibly misinformed and ill-advised.
And also saying that Chris Chan wasn't convicted for what they did. Just being like, guys, their lives are ruined. They were put through such legal torment over nothing. It's like, it's not over nothing. I can promise you that.
Yes, and the rape of Chris's mother, and the fact that Chris was arrested.
Accountable for bad behavior, or just that it's all in good fun because the person is so weird that they deserve documentation. We see it when YouTubers make a big showing of cataloging a Lolcow's every sin, as if making a supercut of someone's worst moments is a public service. Some trolls point out correctly that Lolcows have done genuinely bad things. But does that mean it's open season to hound them 24/7? There are so many people that think her—
Yeah, as Rose says, Daniel Larson has a
child. If they're a pedophile.
Yeah,
if they're a pedophile, maybe.
Yeah, if they're a pedophile, I don't fucking this.
Harassment is just fine if they—
Listen, I've said this as much as if somebody's a pedophile, I will try. But like my feelings of them as a respecting their pronouns.
At the end of this as a cleanser.
Probably not, because I do gotta go to bed.
They believe that the person they're harassing is bad. It's a warped moral calculus. Bullying is okay.
Okay, but you're also saying that your moral calculus is that they're bad for doing it. That's the problem. You are guilty of the same thing because you're saying these people are bad.
I think there needs to be a spectrum to it.
Yes.
Like I think that saying that like people who are Lolcow documentarians are not the same as poo touchers, are not the same as those, are not the same as like asshole handlers who like encourage bad behavior. There's a big difference.
Yeah.
And you can argue that maybe we're bad because we make money off of it. And my argument to that is if I'm good at something, I want to be paid.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm good at editing videos, I would like to make money. I'm sorry.
Listen, I love doing live streaming. I think I'm pretty good at it, and I can like garner an audience and maintain an audience. And I think I should be paid and compensated for my labor. You know what I would say? You see those goals up there? If one of you fuckers want to hit the goal, hit the goal.
Give him more money.
Or even
hit
that.
The goal, please.
I don't know. Get one of the 50 get these goals. Or even liking the video. Chat, there's 168 of you. You can like the video. Can't you like the video? I know you can do it. Yes, I love the stars too fondly. We've hit another goal. The dog gets a treat.
We did it.
Feed the sweet baby angel.
Feeding that sweet baby angel. It's time to feed the puppers. It's time to give her treats. It's time to feed the dog now. On the Uplock stream tonight. Yes, everybody! Feed that dog. Thank you, Matt Fox.
All right, I'm tapping out.
You're the man.
Good night. Leave a like.
Thank you. Where is my pupper? Come here. Oh, look at you. Come here.
Oh my goodness.
Go.
The good girl.
She just sits there now. She just sits there. She knows, chat. She knows, chat.
The good baby. The good creature.
The good creature. She is not like the other creatures. She is not like those other filthy creatures.
What is happening? What are you doing?
As long as we really hate the target. By that logic, any flaw can make someone fair game for endless abuse. And many of these harassment peddlers are actually profiting from it. They're getting paid to harass someone different than them, and they get to feel superior while they're doing it. At the end of the day, there's nothing heroic about what these bullies do. It's not vigilante justice or exposing—
hot take, bring bullying back. Bring it back. Kids should hit kids.
Bully often. No.
Bully often and hard. You should beat the shit out of each other with your kids.
You know what? No, I'm going to have the opposite approach because I'm contrarian to everything that Felgi says. Guys, bullying is cringe. Bullying is cringe.
No, you should let the kids fight in gladiatorial combat. You should give them weapons.
What is happening?
Give them weapons.
Dangerous people. More often, it's just kicking someone who's already down. In fact, it resembles a scenario we all recognize in real life. A group of kids in school picking on a special needs kid, pulling pranks on him.
They're not always special needs. Not
Yeah, you already also made the acknowledgement that not all of them have special needs. So like, what? What?
Oh, okay, we're just gonna continue.
Laughing when they're upset, making them think like they're a part of the group so they can make fun of them without them knowing. Except now, it's amplified on a global stage. And those
hey, look, pedophile actually hit his wife in public. Pedophile. Fucked her mom. Gambler.
Pedophile, no online right there. No
Another
online.
pedophile.
Andy
Ashley
Ditch wants to
Trevino
befriend a
exploits her
child.
children. Ashley Trevino exploits her children. Andy Ditch. We've already said
wants
that.
to befriend a child.
Yeah, like, is Andy Ditch a confirmed pedophile too? That's great.
That one's complicated, right? Because it comes from a different bunch of different facets, right? It's the fact that he has a fetish for diapers, which I believe that having a fetish for anything that's revolving around children inherently kind of makes you a nonce. That's just me, though. I understand that maybe there are some people out there who have it, and it's like a regression thing, and it makes them therapeutic or whatever the fuck. Fine.
Regression is a trauma response, not a kink. If I hear it one more time, I'll actually put a bullet
I'm sorry,
in myself.
I don't know. Listen, the point is that like usually if someone tells me they have a diaper fetish, I'm like, why does something that it revolves around children turn you on? That's weird. There's the fact that Andy Ditch was confused. Like he lives in a group home, right? There was this woman who was taking care of him, and she has a son, or I think is a son or a daughter, or like a child basically underage, and I believe they're about 13, 14 years old. And Andy, she used to like have him come to her work when he wasn't technically supposed to, and I guess Andy got to know the family pretty well, and like he was fairly happy with this person that was taking care of him. They ended up getting fired because they're not supposed to take their kid to the job. And then when Andy heard about this, well, I think he got confused and said, I never got her fired, but it's like, no, it's because she brought her kid to work. And he's like, well, why can't I have a kid here? Why can't I have a kid living in my group home? And they're just like, well, because you're a 40-year-old man and you shouldn't be friends with a child. And he's like, well, what, do you think I'm a pedo? Do you think I'm a pedophile? And they're like, no, you're just a 40-year-old guy who shouldn't be friends with kids. Like, it's that simple. And also, you have behavioral issues that make you very explosive and prone to violence when you're angry. Maybe you shouldn't be with a kid. And he was he called the cops on himself, being like, hey, I was friends with a kid. Does that make me a pedophile? Can you arrest me? And they said, no. And he's like, oh, that's what I thought. And then he hangs up. And it's so, he's an interesting one. He's an interesting one.
A very interesting man.
Bullies can actually make money and clout off of it. It's telling.
Remember, chat, 50 gifties for the 4-hour Turkey Tom video, specifically with Lazy Bedhead.
That the term Lolcow itself comes from seeing the target as subhuman, as a farm animal to be milked. It's that exact dehumanization that makes it.
Let's see, what else? Only use me blade I know nothing about. Look, it's White Bowser again. It's Neon. It's a Neon. Fuck Neon. Literally fuck Neon. More Jupiter, more Daniel. A little bit of Chris here and there.
Easier for participants to shrug off any guilt. Imagine you're walking around your city and you see a homeless person having a mental breakdown on the street. Most decent people would feel empathy. Maybe call someone to help, or at least realize that this is someone in crisis and move along. Now imagine a crowd.
No, that's not how the bystander effect works. Most normal people believe somebody else will do it, so they don't do it. That's actually, it completely flies in the face of what the bystander effect actually is. The bystander effect is, oh, there's a bunch of people here, I don't need to get involved.
I think it's so interesting. Like, oh, look at all these people that like smoking turns into stuff.
Yeah.
It's like every single example they're showing are people who can generally dehumanize.
Yeah.
It's like I don't think calling somebody like a pedophile who hurt children and a bad person is dehumanizing. I think it's just the consequences of being a bad person. Am I roboting? Great. Perfect.
So I could.
You guys just gotta have to deal with it. You know
So
what?
no. It's actually interesting, chat. I can see it on the recording. So here's what I'm gonna say. I looked at it recently. I was like looking at it, and it does go all over the place. So I don't know. It seems to be a connection issue between everything, and I don't know if reloading the source would do it. I don't know if because it is doing it again.
I'm under the water. I am under the water.
No, you're fine now. It's one of those things where it's like it's not my Wi-Fi. It is. I see it, and I don't know what it is, and it's just not because it's not an advanced audio properties thing.
I'm using Wi-Fi. Yeah.
No, but it's not. It's not me. Everyone keeps thinking it's me.
Guys, I just went through the Matrix for a brief moment. I'm sorry for that.
It's fine. I'll find you some links later. You probably tried them all, but still, yeah, I know. We'll do it later because I'm going to bed after this.
Crowd gathering around that homeless person and pointing and laughing at him, maybe even poking at them to get an angrier reaction. That sounds absolutely cruel, right? Yet on the internet, this is
no, Pinker. I'm directly connected to my router. My router is literally right here, because the only place my router could be is my room.
Exactly what happens in the Lolcow culture. And the person doing the laughing and poking are being rewarded and praised. It's upside down. The fact that this has become a genre of entertainment is a sad reflection of the current social climate. As someone who works with individuals with developmental disabilities, I can't help.
And there you go. So he says that he works with individuals with developmental disabilities, which commendable. I do commend it.
Yeah, again, I think this video comes from a good place. I think it comes from a very emotionally charged place given where he works in the field that he's in, right? And I do understand from given how like his field why this content upsets him. I totally get it. I completely understand. I just also think that a lot of the praise that comes from maybe these like Lolcow content creators comes from the fact that like a lot of the Lolcows they expose are really bad people.
Yeah.
Like, you know, maybe that's why they're getting praised because they have the obvious opinion of this person did bad thing.
Yeah.
And you could argue that maybe that's not very riveting content. And I agree to some extent as someone who's made 3 videos about Lolcows that like, is it the most engaging content in the world to have the opinion of bad thing this person did is bad? No. Which is why when I try to make that content, I'm like, well, it's bad, but here's why they're doing it, and here's how we got here, you know? And again, if you want to make the argument that Lolcow content is on the basis of just like pointing and saying bad thing bad over and over again.
Yeah.
Again, yeah, I don't disagree, which is why I try to do things a little different over where I'm doing. And I don't know, maybe what I'm doing and maybe what, say, Wonder's doing or what Nick Nobody's doing is going to change how we do this content in the future. And I hope it does. I really sincerely hope it does because I think there is a good way to talk about Lolcows that is not problematic. I really think there is. And I hate this assertion that this person puts in the video that there's no good way to talk about it without just being the person that's pointing and laughing at a disabled person. It's like, no, there is a humanizing way you can do this. There really is. It's kind of a diamond in the rough situation, unfortunately, where it doesn't happen super often because it has been a problematic culture for a very long time, right? I don't necessarily disagree, but like, I think directly being like these newer age Lolcow content creators who are doing the documentary style thing, they're the source of the main problem when it's like not really. I just don't see that. I feel like this stuff is interesting for these people. It's interesting to look at somebody who posts all their stuff to the world and just, you know. And I don't think that makes you a bad person. I don't think looking upon that and being like, that's interesting is a bad thing. You know?
The video is overly preachy, and that's the problem. That is the problem. It's overly preachy, but has a limited understanding of the space. And a limited understanding of the culture behind it. And that becomes the issue. This is not a 26-minute video. This is hours long. This is a series of videos.
Yeah, and look, I'm not saying I'm a good person or anything, right? I don't think anyone claims to be in the Lolcow space being a good person. I think I think this video comes from a good place. But it definitely sounds like an outsider looking in and being like, scoffing, being like, how could anyone be like these people? And I'm like,
exactly.
Dude, what? Like, we're just making the content we like. Is that a bad thing?
Yeah, it's 100% like, how could these people even exist in this fashion? And it's
right. And I can't even
most of these Lolcows.
Sorry, I was gonna say I can't even be that argumentative, because even I would say the perception a lot of people have of me is that even I'm too soy, right? That I'm too nice, maybe. But like,
you are too nice and too fucking soy. But you know what? You belong here, so fuck you.
Cool.
Lolcow situations as aberrant failures of support. The Joshes and Daniels of the world often don't have the safety nets they need. They lack strong family guidance, professional help, or a solid friend group. In that vacuum, the
I recommend giving the creator's saturated content a look. He has a really good balance of humor and being informational about his Lolcow subjects.
I will definitely.
I do like saturated content, actually.
I haven't watched them. I will, because I need to.
Would you say Lolcows are popular monsters?
Sure, I suppose.
Awesome, Scott. Damn you, we're not gonna get this!
Internet fills the void for them, but with toxic intentions. These people are getting attention for all the wrong reasons, and they often lack the insight to recognize it. Instead of help, they get an audience urging them to go further off the rails. We also have to acknowledge a harsh truth. The internet never forgets. Once someone has been labeled a Lolcow, their worst moments are endlessly archived and replayed.
And some of them are pedophiles. And some of them are pedophiles. Some of them are
there's
pedophiles.
no online, he's a pedophile.
Thanks for the late night company while gaming. Been a fun listen.
Always, Holdra. Always for you.
You're welcome. Hey, look, there's Nova online on screen. He's a pedophile. Look, there's Daniel Larson on screen. He's a pedophile.
There's
look,
Ashley Trevino. Who here are people. Mario Lord 14. I've heard about this person. They call him Mexican Nova.
Oh God.
El Nova.
Oh my God. There's Lovely Peaches. She abused her child. Oh my.
Ash Trevino also allegedly exploits children for money. Like a dumb.
Years old mistakes or meltdowns can resurface again and again whenever a YouTuber needs content. It creates a narrative that the person is nothing but the worst moments. People are not allowed to grow or change in the eyes of the Lolcow
Amberlynn Reed is abusive to partners.
watching
also,
community.
this assertion that like Lolcows are not allowed to born and change, that is not true. There is a good example of this is a Lolcow way back in the day, old school. Pixie Terry. Pixie Terry was a Lolcow because they legitimately believed that they were Japanese and that their dad was a Japanese man and her real father was not. She was also like a big like plus size cosplayer, but she would get really upset when people are like, hey, this cosplay doesn't look super flattering. Here's some adjustments to make it flattering. And they're like, fuck you, you just hate fat people. They ended up actually like removing themselves from the internet, losing a bunch of weight, and like now lives a perfectly normal life. I mean, and like a lot of people actually praise the weight loss and like her actually like get together. Like the idea that Lolcows are just irredeemable all the time is just not true. Like the only reason some of these might not be is because some of them are pedophiles.
I was about to say, M. Lockwood like brings up a really good point. A lot of people wanted Wings of Redemption to change, and he was on his redemption arc.
Yeah,
and then the stuff, and then the stuff with his wife happened, and then the stuff with his wife happened. Like everything was smooth sailings.
He was right there.
He was so close. He fucking fumbled at the finish line, and like that's just it is what it is. Like there's also like there is a reasonable thing that there are a series of detractors that don't want people to get better, but there is a lot of complications with that, and if you're not recognizing where the complications are, I don't know what to tell you.
Seemingly insisting that we can't become better versions of ourselves. It's a very cynical outlook that denies basic human redemption or complexity. And for the Lolcow subject, it means any effort they make to rehabilitate or move on is often sabotaged or disbelieved by those who prefer to keep milking.
I literally just saw fucking... I legitimately just saw fucking Yondev, and I want to fucking blow my brain out.
In the end, we gotta ask ourselves as consumers of online media, what are we really doing here? Laughing at some goofy viral video is one thing. We've all chuckled at someone's fail compilation or a cringe TikTok.
Okay, go kill yourself. I'm sorry. Don't do that. Don't do this. Don't do this, motherfucker. I've been giving you grace. This is... Okay. I say this. No. I say this every time. So like I've written videos before. You know, I helped write a video before. I helped doing research. I program our own stuff. The best advice I ever got was do not tell the audience how they should react. When you do that, you alienate an entire group of people that you are trying to reach.
Jesus. I disavow, by the way. I disavow the killing.
I listen. Listen.
Fauci, I don't associate. He's a crazy person.
My sponsorship is in the mail. My Gamer Sub sponsorship or whatever, or Raid Shadow Legends. Raid Shadow Legends. There we go. That's the better one. Raid Shadow Legends. You could fight the bosses right now.
Oh my god. Dude, I just kind of realized this comparison, right? Because a lot of the people that he brings up, Daniel Larson being the example, like has schizophrenia, right?
Yeah.
There's another Lolcow that also, there's a lot of Lolcows actually that do have schizophrenia. People like Tony Chase is an example, right? Nobody
I know
with
about
Tony Chase. Nobody fucks Tony Chase though. Like Tony Chase has very obvious schizophrenia, talks about his delusions of grandeur about the government man burning his teeth all the time, but he doesn't have trolls. He doesn't have people that like try to go to his house and try to harass him or anything like that. Yes, he's schizophrenic. Yes, he's equally got delusions of grandeur just like Daniel, but nobody like goes to his house and tries to harass him or like tries to, you know, fuck with him. None of that. He just kind of exists and talks about his delusions. And the main reason I think why is because Tony Chase ultimately is kind of harmless. He's just kind of sitting in his house like kind of rotting away and only hurting himself. And I think that's the big difference. If this guy's argument is that all Lolcow content treats anyone with a disability the same, then Tony Chase is an example of how that's not true, because it's like he has a disability, he's also schizophrenic, but he doesn't receive the same amount of harassment as, say, Daniel Larson. It's a spectrum of how much somebody receives a visceral reaction from the internet based on many factors that are not just their mental illness.
This guy made a video like in the after Cobra died. When was it announced to the public? Yeah. King Cobra deserved better.
Wait a minute. Wait, is this the same guy we're watching?
Yes, I just looked at his channel. These are his videos. This is...
Wait, why would he make a... What the fuck?
Wouldn't that fly in the complete face of the...
Is this not making Lolcow content?
Because what you're saying is that, well, he deserved better from the internet.
Okay, but this is still Lolcow content, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is still Lolcow content. You're saying that, guys,
and not only that,
why are we making this Lolcow content, meanwhile makes a Lolcow video?
And not only that, the people that he highlighted all expressed deep sadness over... or not sadness, but their specific regards over his death, like that they did. And interestingly, I'm just gonna say this: your biggest video, you then start leaning into it. I've noticed.
I mean, I'm glad that the video did well, at least.
Yeah, but you know,
I do think it makes good points, and I think that this guy does make good content. I just think that there's some glaring issues with the idea of it, especially if his next video right after that is a Lolcow video.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, dude, if you're going to criticize it, maybe don't make the exact same content later.
Because it's the same people that always say, well, it's hypocritical for him to go, well, they monetize their videos. So do you, motherfucker.
Well, especially at that much viewers, like, a monetization is based on either sub count or viewership.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he made the threshold all right with what is this 129K?
Watch time. Yeah, the watch time. Yeah, it's
yeah, for sure.
Again,
for sure.
Here and there. By actively following a vulnerable person's life, encouraging their worst impulses, and ridiculing them daily crosses a serious line. It stops being entertainment and becomes exploitation. Many of the YouTubers and commentators involved might not see themselves as bullies either. Some might genuinely be young and just can't fully grasp the harm they're doing. Kind of like kids making fun of a disabled person.
Oh, shut the fuck up, actually, at this point. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. No, you're being a pretentious fuck. You are being an absolute pretentious fuck. Absolute pretentious fuck. I'm sorry.
Especially if you're gonna make a King Cobra JSS video literally 2 weeks later.
And saying that the internet failed him when King Cobra is a very complicated individual who was a chronic alcoholic.
Also, the thing with King Cobra is like his trolling, or at least the people who used to troll him, the most that they did was get him fired from his job. But to be fair, like that happened because he would always show up to his job an hour late anyway. So even without the trolling, that was going to happen, right? Like a lot of his trolls, the most they would do is maybe send pizzas to his house.
Yeah.
Like for the most part, like all the damage that was happening to King Cobra JFS was happening to himself.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the trolling was very minuscule from what I remember.
Yeah, and Majunga Wumba said Cobra wasn't killed by his trolls. And if Sir Digby is correct, no big creator posthumously like made a video on Cobes. They respected his dad's wishes by just reporting that he passed away.
Right. And like I think most people who did make like retrospective stuff about his stuff walked away being like, I really like King Cobra JFS.
Yeah. A
Like,
lot of people
a lot of
came
people
away
did.
with it. A
Yeah,
lot of people came away with it.
Like, yeah, he's a internet weirdo who like makes disgusting mead, which is gross, and like just smokes the day away and makes like wizard wands. Sure, he's an oddity in that regard, which was kind of what made him a lolcow back in the day, especially sharing all of his relationship drama, especially. But like, he didn't hurt anybody. He wasn't a pedophile. He was just a weird guy,
It's
and
just a
everyone
weird-
liked him for that.
and people respected it. Like,
Right.
Because they just don't know any better. But ignorance isn't a great excuse. Plenty of others do know exactly what they're doing and they just don't care. The paychecks or the subscribers just matter more to them.
Oh, shut the fuck up, you fucking asshole. You fuck. Show your YouTube revenue now. Show
Guys,
that you.
this guy's name is Muck Joe, right?
Muckhole.
something.
Muckhole.
Okay, guys, like and subscribe to Muckhole today, actually. Like and subscribe. I want him to have 10K subscribers by the end of this week.
No, you're a fuck. You're that. No, do not do that. Do not do that. That is brigading. Please do not do that. That
Okay,
is
I'm sorry.
That is a brigade.
I'm sorry.
We don't
Look,
do
I'm
that.
sure he'll make great content in the future. I just think this one's a little pretentious.
This is incredibly pretentious, and this is actually insane. If you were prove that you are not. Someone did say that his videos is making money.
Well,
it's heartening to see some pushback emerging. There's articles and commentators starting to call out the dangers of lolcow culture.
Okay, that's fine, but like it's okay.
Highlighting that these are
a fucking 2024 article about Haktua. This is the This is the one article that you've been I don't even. Okay, so let me see if I can find this. Let me see if I can find this article. It's called
When People Become Punchlines: The Dangers of Lolcow Culture.
The person I saw most broken up about Cobra's death was Rouge Internet Man. I've never seen him that emotional about anything before.
Aww.
When people become punchlines, the dangers of lolcow culture.
You know what? That needs to be a lolcow lesson for one of my videos. Guys, are we the problem? Did we contribute to bad internet culture? Are we the problem?
It's a fucking vlog from it's a blog. This article has 0 shares.
They talk about Daniel Larson.
Joshua blocked
and Josh
it.
Brock. Do they mention that Daniel is a pedophile? This is all I care about.
Okay, you want to know something really interesting?
Hmm.
What if the only other person they talk about is Chris Chan? That means he lifted this entire article and made a video about it.
Wait, what? Dude,
look. Online harassment affects real people. Take Daniel Larson, for example, garnering a lot of internet attention from his bizarre TikTok post to his viral target. Larson is on the autism spectrum, homeless, and suffers from schizophrenia. His audience deliberately played into his delusions, egging him on to the point where going to prison for threatening a bomb. Leaves out the pedophilia.
What the
Talks
fuck?
about the boba coffee reviews. He actually lifted this article. This is plagiarism. So straight the fuck up. Straight the fuck up.
Oh, he did the boba. Whoa, wait.
Sorry.
Wait. Is anyone else mentioned? Is anyone else mentioned? Is it just those two?
Voyeurism. No, but it's this specific line right here.
What about Neon and Jack Doherty?
Look at this exact line. Blew up for quirky videos of boba and coffee reviews, but has descended into severe alcoholism. Unironically, he lifted it. Which, listen, I don't give a fuck about plagiarism. I don't give a fuck. I actually don't give a shit. Look at me right now. I actually don't care.
Think that, it's interesting that he comes to the same conclusion that this article does.
And this article only talks about these two specifically. The article doesn't go into the history of it, doesn't go into what's going on, completely skips Daniel Larson's history as a pedophile.
Interesting.
Like, again,
Fascinating.
I don't give a fuck about plagiarism. I literally actually don't care. Sorry, I don't give a shit. I unironically had my work plagiarized, I think twice now. I don't give a shit.
Damn.
Or at least uncredited. I actually don't give a shit. This is just very lazy. Like, this is a little lazy that, like, you've come to the same conclusions as this one. He did do a little bit more research, don't get me wrong.
Right.
But
definitely.
he only comes to these conclusions because it ends with the White House bombing. It doesn't discuss the pedophilia.
It doesn't discuss that he, like, stalked Grace Vanderbilt, like, actually stalked and harassed her family.
Because
it doesn't mention the fact that he beats the elderly. Like, it doesn't mention that he abused a dog. Like, you know what I mean?
But here's interesting. Some people try to justify their cyberbullying due to the fact that some Lolcows deserve nonstop trolling. For example, Larson has admitted that he's been attracted to underage girls. He is.
Oh, good. Yay.
So you leave that.
Says it.
So you left it out of the video. Then why would you not?
It worse.
Why would you not investigate this further? If you're citing this article because you cited it before, if you are citing this article in your video, and you are not and you're not using the article in a way that, like, kind of like dives into it a little bit more, if he read it at worst, you are omitting the fact that Daniel Larson has been arrested and convicted for these things. Like, come on. Like, and this is also an opinion piece. Like, literally, what opinion piece?
Right.
Oh,
yeah, it's not like a big newsletter thing. It's just some other person, which I'm sure the article is fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this is what happens when you show your ass, because I'm a little fucking annoyed. Like, I am the kind of person that looks at anything that you reference. I like looking at studies. I like looking at other things. I wouldn't necessarily call it malicious. I would call it incredibly stupid.
I find it interesting that he cites this article that mentions one of the people that he just brought up.
And the phrase.
Daniel specifically. I meant Daniel specifically. Like, he brings up Daniel, tries to be like, you know, Daniel Larson, he didn't deserve all this harassment. Yet the article he cites right here mentions his pedophilic nature that he conveniently leads out in this video.
A lie by omission is still a damn lie.
I agree. It is lazy. It is an example of laziness.
And let's make this also perfectly clear. Like, I think that, like, a big problem with lolcow culture is, like, we see a lot of these lolcows that people cover being, you know, predatory in nature, right? And that should be treated accordingly by, like, through police intervention. But the problem is police, especially when it comes to online predation, they are so backlogged with how the internet works that they will not do anything. I'm telling you this right now from experience. You can tell them, hey, there's this guy who's on the internet who's preying on children. They're like, we don't know how to deal with that. No, we don't really care. Like,
it's not listen, it's not necessarily a level of charitability. I don't know the rest of his work. So because I don't know the rest of his work, I can't just sit here and say that it's constantly malicious.
Right.
I just can't sit here and say that. I can say
this is the one video, guys. Calm down. Like,
yeah. You can, if let's say his Cobra video is an article, or he kind of doesn't reference his dad not necessarily wanting his death to be content necessarily. Yeah. You can judge him by this. You guys can make your own assertions. We don't have to agree. I actually implore you guys to not agree with me from time to time.
I mean, if anyone wants to, like, go watch the Cobes video and, like, give us a cliff notes of it, that'd be great.
I'll probably watch it as I go to sleep tonight. Yeah. Now I'm curious. But let's get to the end of this video.
If it is just as bad, you know.
Yeah.
Are real human beings being harmed. Even some former trolls have had change of heart moments, realizing how toxic it is to fuck up someone's life and then rationalize it as okay. There's a growing awareness that we, the audience, should be critical of this kind of content.
You guys want your record echo chambers. I love you all. You know that.
rather than blindly consuming it. If a channel's whole shtick is making you laugh at someone who is clearly mentally ill or developmentally disabled, maybe we should think twice about giving them a view or a like. Ultimately, many so-called lolcows are people who obviously need intervention, not humiliation. Yeah, some of them have done offensive or odd things, but pointing and laughing at them en masse is not how society should deal with that. The internet has blurred the line between entertainment and cruelty. It's easy to get desensitized when you're watching through a screen. But if the content you're watching revolves around someone unraveling and the audience is cheering it on, that's not entertainment, it's complicity. No one deserves to have their struggles turned into a sideshow attraction.
It's not an AI voice, this is his real voice from what I understand. I just sped it up.
The Lolcow phenomenon is a vicious cycle of bullying enabled by a structure of online platforms and the lure of internet fame. It preys on those least able to defend themselves and turns their suffering into clout for others. It's on us creators and consumers to break that cycle, to stop rewarding the bullies, to show a little more
I don't know if this is an AI voice. If I got tricked by another AI voice, I will crash out. That's happened to me. I get tricked by AI videos.
It doesn't sound like it. I feel like it has too much of a different
inflection. Yeah.
Yeah, it's too much.
And to remember that behind every lolcow is a human being who's more than just the sum of their worst moments. It's all fun and games until you become the target.
Yeah, I mean, don't become the content.
No, I don't disagree. And also, I find it interesting that he's just like, we shouldn't be like this, blah blah blah, when it comes to like lolcow content and stuff. And like, I agree, but what would the alternative be, right? Like, because it boils down to like, what's the solution if you think this is so much of a problem? And if your solution is, well, we should handle it accordingly by like, if these lolcows are actually doing bad things like being predatory, throw them in jail. Oh, jail, the system that also just equally is not as good for people with mental disabilities. Jail, the place that like legitimately is even worse for them, really. Like you're in a lose-lose, really. There's no good way to like, talk about this whole thing without it being kind of, demeaning towards someone with a disability. But the best thing you can do is at least come to an understanding of them as a human being, like, and why they decide to project everything they do onto the internet. You know what I mean? And I hope that lolcow content does go in that direction, where we do start more humanizing, where we do start trying to understand each other. And I don't disagree with this assessment. I just think that, like, being like, oh, we should think about whether or not we give them a like and a follow. It's like, just don't tell people what to do. Like, y'all just let people like what they like. Like, and also don't be such a contrarian dick. Like, like, what are you doing? What are you looking at?
Yeah, I'm just looking through the comments because some of the people, like, they're mere bullies. Look, man, in some cases you really can't defend actual pedophiles. Like, I don't know, Daniel Larson, like a Christian, like Daniel Larson, like a Christian, they did drive him into, I agree entirely, a world of t-shirts, or let's say Fallen Chungus. It's undeserved as well, but sometimes you can't really morally grandstand. You can't really make a moral grandstand when your target is literally fucking Daniel Larson and he admitted to owning CP.
Right.
Like, because he, by omitting it, he's just saying that these people are without, like, he's saying that they're being unjustly targeted and that they didn't fall and they fell through the cracks. The issue with this video, again, the section, the section that is kind of pulled out from that article, a little annoying to me. I guess, like, the line he really liked, I think he could have maybe worded it differently or even maybe referenced it. British, I was gonna raid you, you motherfucker. Fuck you, British, I was gonna raid you. Thank you, British. Thank you. But it does feel like, in a way, like, again, before everyone says it, every video is made to push an agenda. I'm not gonna sit here and say anything, but as Pinker says, and I can't believe I'm allowing this to be coming out of my mouth, he is woobifying them.
What does that mean? What the fuck does that mean?
That's an animation term. That's an animation term. You're behind the times. You are behind the times.
How am I behind the times? Excuse me.
You woobified. Yep, woobifying them. It's like babifying them. It's like a whole big thing. You'll learn one of these days. Get up to my stuff.
Just say this to me when you didn't even know who the fuck Pamperchew or Earl Doobie or fucking.
Okay, I always knew who Pamperchew was because of my friend Kat. I knew of Earl Doobie, but I never watched him. It's like people like Schmorky I don't know.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't know who Schmorky was. That was crazy.
Yeah.
Especially since a lot of his stuff ended up on Adult Swim. Like, he was a big dude.
Yeah. It's unquestionably deliberate to me, but I appreciate the way that you're trying to be impartial. Me, I'm deeply offended in questioning his character. I mean, like, listen, You guys can. Like, I don't see any need to not do that. Or what I would say is, what I would always say is, don't attribute to malice what you can attribute to ignorance. If he continues to make different videos that are, especially if he leans a little bit more into the, especially if he starts leaning into revisiting Lolcows and trying to clean their image, if that becomes this guy's content cycle, then it's an actual cause for concern. In my personal opinion, it's incredibly misguided, which I hope he doesn't do. I hope he.
Yeah, this is too early to say.
Yeah,
this is too early
he literally only has like
7
videos. Let him do whatever he needs to do. But that's for a different day. Chat, if you want to get your last minute donations, if you want to get your last minute gifties, if you want to do all those things, please do it before we go away. But I want to thank Lazy Bedhead, lazy, friend of the channel, friend of my heart, apple of my eye, and sexually harasses me on the internet. Thank you so much.
I do not.
You sexually harass me. Guys, you don't know this, but she sexually harasses me behind the scenes.
What the fuck?
She keeps asking for feet, and I cry.
No,
and she's like, I have the bigger sub number. I have the bigger sub.
Fake news. The Lazy Files are a hoax. It's a democratic hoax.
Next time we'll do the Innuendo Studios video. I gotta go to bed early because the dog's gotta go to boarding in the morning. But thank you guys so much, each and every one of you. Thank you guys for everything. It is so nice to have you guys always around. You guys are one of the favorite chatters that I've always had in my life. And good night, everybody.
Bye.